It's definitely a weird place for a black hearse to pull up. If you guys don't know what a hearse is, it almost looks like a vintage looking car, and oftentimes it's associated with death because most funeral homes, it's a tradition. You will see caskets or coffins being transported inside of this hearse. There are chrome wheels. It's like a very intense looking car. You're not supposed to cut it off in traffic. Otherwise, that's a very bad omen because you're cutting off someone's final journey to their destination. That's very bad karma is what people say. And even if it just stops in front of your house, people say that's very bad luck. That means someone in your house might die. That's the whole thing with a hearse. There is this building in the middle of downtown city center with a whole line of people just standing outside, and a hearse pulls up, parks on the side of the street right in front of them. It's interesting because when you see this video, nobody's wearing all black. It's not like a funeral. This doesn't look like a funeral home. And they're also curiously staring at this hearse, like, why is there a hearse right here?
There's a video? Like someone took a video?
Yeah. Standing in the line, showing the hearse, showing some other people in the line, and you can see that the back of the hearse is opened up by this man in a suit. And it takes about 4 men to, first of all, slip off this black blanket, uncovering this silver white colored coffin. Some people say that the coffin looks way too small to be a fully adult coffin. It's a casket, but it looks more so like a child casket. Somebody on the smaller side. They start rolling it into the building that everybody is standing in line trying to get into. And they look a little bit like, what is going on right now? And none of the people that are carrying the casket are saying anything. They just wheel it straight into the building. Eventually, when the doors open, the entire line of people are shuffled inside, and immediately the first thing they see is that casket, just front and center right there. There's the white casket on top. There's all these flowers next to it. There's this funeral wreath. And then there's this long table. They have a guest book. All the people are supposed to sign their name, pay their respects to the deceased, and there's this notepad in case you want to write a very long letter to the deceased. You got to send your condolences to Itami. There's a picture of Itami. It's a man in a blood-soaked white dress shirt wearing a white blindfold, which would be a very unsettling memorial picture. But thankfully, this is not a funeral. This is David. This is a famous musician, the one that sings Here With Me, Romantic Homicide. Recently, the Fortnite anthem, Locked and Loaded, Feel It, which was on the Invincible show, Remember Me, which was on Arcane. Like, he is probably one of the biggest artists right now, one of the bigger ones. And it is a concert on his world tour. You know, the concept and theme is death. A funeral. There are hearses at most of his show that bring in this white silver casket. Fans pay their respects to the dead, Itami, who is David's alter ego in his music videos. It's all very artistic. Some people think it's a little gimmicky. Some people think it's very exciting. Until September 8th of 2025, this year, news breaks that while David is on tour hosting fake funerals, the dead body of a 14-year-old girl is found in the trunk of his car. Which brings us to the questions, is he connected to her? How is he connected to her? Did he do it? Was she killed? Is he guilty? If so, why hasn't he been arrested yet at the filming of this video? And it's been weeks since her body was found. Was she dismembered? Why are the police being so vague? And do the funerals at the recent concerts mean anything at all? Because some netizens are saying, was David trying to tell us something? This is the case of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, the little girl found inside of David's trunk. We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support NCMEC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They are the nation's largest and most influential child protection organization. And this episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team. And we'd also like to thank you guys for your continued support. As always, full show notes are available at rottenmangopodcast.com. A few sensitive topics for this case include allegations of grooming, CSA, as well as themes like gore, potential dismemberment, and decomp. Now, a super big part of this case is is that as of filming this, there have been 0 arrests, convictions, or just really anything concrete besides these little tidbits of very vague, very polished press releases that authorities have given out. We're going to be covering all of those details and specifying which one is confirmed, but basically function on the assumption that everything is alleged. We did our best to debunk and verify all of the online rumors, and there are so many online rumors. We went down a whole maze of just online speculations, screenshots, screen recordings, people posting unreleased songs, and one thing we can deduce is that we don't really know anything at this point. We also want to disclaim that all screenshots and or media posted by people online can be edited or faked. We did our best to verify and try to get down to the original source, but even when we did, it's like they could have edited it. It could have been doctored. There's no way to say that this is real, and there's no way to even say that that's the exact person they're alleging behind the account. So there's so many different things until it's confirmed by authorities. I can't tell you what's real, what's fake. We tried to do our best, but one thing is clear, that everyone involved is technically innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So with that being said, let's get started. The musician David really likes the Korean invisible string theory. And I didn't even know that that was what it was called. And then I was talking to my dad about it, and it's called 인연, which is a very intense concept. It's the concept that every single person in your life, you are tied to them by fate. So in Korea, there's this idea that you are tied to your soulmate through your pinkies with this invisible red string. And everything you do in life is just getting you closer to meeting your soulmate. Every single person that you meet on the street is supposed to propel you closer to your soulmate, unless you fuck it up, unless you're really mean to a friend and then the string falls off your finger. Some people believe that can happen. Other people say there's no way. You're tied to your soulmate forever. And it does also get dark. My dad was telling me that it sounds romantic. It sounds like something you would only see in a K-drama, and it's so loving, but you could be tied to the wrong soulmate.
What does that mean?
It's not happily ever after. It's this idea that every soulmate tie is formed after 8,000 lifetimes of karmic connections. So it's almost like after 8,000 karmic reactions, you finally have your soulmate. But those could have been bad karmic connections. So now you're tied to your soulmate, who happens to be either a very bad person or is very bad for you in your life. And then the next life you live, you're still going to be tied to that person. And it's just like this repetition of having the world's worst soulmate, if you will, to put it simply and not romantically.
So soulmate doesn't mean they're perfect for you. It just means you are stuck with this person.
You're going to marry this person.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're going to be stuck with them. But it's not the concept of, oh, this is true love. Some people take it as that, but my dad was like, well, most people don't, considering divorce rates these days. So it's more so that. Now, in an interview with Zach Sang, David, spelled D4VD, he says, I love that theory that everybody's connected in some way, in some form, spiritually. Zach Sang is asking him to break it down, and David says, so basically, it's a South Korean ideology where from birth, we are connected to our soulmate. That could be a lover, friends, teachers, anybody you're connected to them from birth. And you're led to them through the course of your life to meet them or interact with them at some point or to help them. They add something to your life. It's almost transactional, but it's like an emotional transaction. You're meant to help this person, or you're meant to learn something from this person. Me and you could have a string. So Zach Sang is asking, so does everybody have a lot of strings?
There's so many. Yes, you're connected to so many different people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that connection can either be severed or not severed, depending on who you ask. Because there's also the Japanese version where the Scarlet Theory, where if you build too much bad karma, that could be severed. Or if you do somebody wrong, that connection is severed and it's not repairable. So there's different versions of all of this, but I view it as we are all connected through the universal emotion called love. And that's why my album is mostly dealing with the theme of love and that connection.
I thought his theme was death.
Yeah, and death.
Oh,
love and death.
Love and death, okay.
He says in a separate video, everybody's connected from the invisible life force that connects you to either your soulmate or your friends you meet or people you encounter in your life. And if that's the case, people are now digging these videos up, and they're not even that old. His newest album recently came out this year. He's on tour for his newest album, the Withered Tour. And people are saying, okay, well, if you believe in soul ties, if you believe in these connections, how are you connected to the 13-year-old girl that went missing 17 months ago in early 2024? You know, a few years ago, I feel like there was this TikTok trend at one point, and I don't know how our brain rot keeps evolving, but it's song covers, very serious rap songs, very serious love songs. And it's like if they were all sung by Alvin and the Chipmunks, and it's just a high-pitched cover of the songs, and everything sounds goofy. And sometimes it's honestly better than the original song. Do you remember where all the TikTok sounds were also going viral, and it's like high-pitched, sped-up versions of every song?
Yes.
That's how David gets famous.
His song?
Not by his own music, but by Alvin and the Chipmunking everybody else's music. He would make edits where he sings someone's song, Beyonce, Billie Eilish.
Oh, and he's singing it?
Yes, and then he would Alvin and the Chipmunks edit it. Sometimes it would just be the track of it, and then he would edit it to sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks. David's whole career trajectory is by far one of the strangest things that I've ever read about, and it's not even, it's just strange. I think the fact that the first few songs he drops hit 1 billion streams on Spotify, and every song and release after that has been so successful. I didn't know anything about David. I knew his songs. I didn't know him online because a lot of people actually knew him online through his TikToks, his viral memes and his TikToks. But I would think that if you told me he was an industry plant, I'd be like, okay, no, I could see it. Because he just blew up out of nowhere. But it's actually a very strange coming up story. He used to
How long has he been around?
He was a Fortnite YouTuber first.
He's a YouTuber?
Yes, but he was not very big. He had about a few thousand subscribers. He's been around making videos probably since like early 2020 because he does talk about how it was the best time to be gaming on Fortnite was during 2020 COVID. But he really starts popping off a little bit in end of 2021, 2022.
Wow.
So it's only been like 3 years.
Yeah.
And so he says in an interview, like I was a Fortnite YouTuber for a really long time. He says that, I think he said he was since 2017, but he said, I really wanted to be a content creator and a streamer and all that kind of stuff. I was making montages on YouTube of my gameplay. You know, those people that do the Fortnite?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, putting music behind it, trying to be the best Fortnite player.
And then my videos got copyright striked, so I couldn't make money off of it. And I was like, yo, I don't know what to do.
Because he's just playing like Jay-Z in the back of it, which of course you're going to get copy striked. And he says, I was like, yo, I don't know what to do. I go to my mom. I'm crying. I'm like, yo, mom, I'm not making money no more. I don't know what to do.
She's like, how about you make your own song? So I'm like, all right, bet, let me do that.
He starts making music on his iPhone. He Googles how to make music.
That's wow.
He downloads BandLab and he goes into his sister's closet and he uses his wired headphones to make his very first song. He uses his sister's closet because he said the kitchen had too much echo, the living room was too big, his bedroom was also not great. So her clothes are basically the insulation for the closet studio and there is no AC in there. So the first day that he decides to make the song, he is sweating in there for 6 hours. He's just YouTube tutorialing his way through the entire thing. Finally, creates his first song, drops it, and he's telling everyone in the Fortnite community, hey, if you're getting copy striked like I did, use my song and I'm not going to copy strike you. It's royalty free. Like I got you. So these are people that have been very pissed off about copy striking. So yet they're going to use his freaking song. And he said it goes crazy, but it really only goes crazy in the Fortnite community. Meanwhile, he's working at Starbucks, still making the Fortnite montages, but with his own music now. And then he gets fired from Starbucks. Like he has the very strange life story. He says his manager had given him this discount code. The manager's like, if you ever need to buy a sandwich and you're $3 short, use this code. He uses it a few times. He thinks it's an employee discount code. When new hires come in, he's training them, telling them the code and explaining it's an employee discount code. So once in a while, if you're $3 short, just use the discount code. It's not an employee discount code. He gets called to the manager's office and they accuse him of committing felonies.
Wait, I'm confused. What is that code?
I don't know. He never really further explains.
That is weird. So is that like kind of like a hack? Like, oh, just use this, you get a little discount, and he just start telling him, why just use this?
I think so, and I think he only saved like $14. He only used about $14 of it, but the manager says you're committing felonies, so he gets fired. It's not the same type of felonies nor comparable to the severity of what he's accused by the internet as of right now of having committed. But David states that Starbucks accused him of committing many crimes and he was fired. And he said, these are all the sandwiches that you stole from us in the past 3 weeks. Like, this is what his manager is telling him. David argues, again, he thought it was a discount code and he was like, just take it out of my paycheck, but they refused. He said the whole situation was just crazy, bro. And I was like, you know what? It's a blessing in disguise. That means I get more time to work on music, which I'm already about to make money on. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm about to make money on music. I really don't need this job right now. I really just focus on Fortnite, focus on music.
People were just demanding more music. And David says it just kind of became this thing where the music was getting more popular than the Fortnite videos. My SoundCloud numbers surpassed my Fortnite video numbers. It was getting crazy.
What are those songs that's released, or are they just like random songs?
They're out.
They're out?
Yeah, they're out.
They're big now? Those songs?
They're big now.
Even the first few that he made?
Yes. But they're not doing the crazy numbers that his next few songs make. So after these Fortnite songs, he's still making these songs, but he decides that not just on SoundCloud, he wants to get attention on TikTok. So TikTok, he mainly is still just posting Fortnite videos and now Alvin and the Chipmunks. That's his Alvin and the Chipmunks era. He also starts posting random memes and everything is like Alvin and the Chipmunk pitch. And then he drops a few of his most famous songs casually. Here With Me, the very famous song, and Romantic Homicide, both of which have over 1 billion streams on Spotify. These are dropped before he has a record label. So then the record labels, they start calling him. They start reaching out to him, asking him to sign. And side note, he lives in Houston, Texas. He's homeschooled. And his mom says, he came downstairs one night and we were in the kitchen and he said, I have something to tell y'all. And I was like, what? He was like, this label was calling. They keep calling this label and that label's calling. And we were like, what are you saying? Like, stop playing around. His dad legitimately thought they were getting scammed by phishing emails until they're flown out to LA and they have meetings with multiple record labels. David's mom has this little journal called David's Music where she takes notes of all the meetings with the labels. And then eventually they signed with Interscope, which is owned by Universal Music Group, UMG. It's actually very fascinating. So in 2022, he has 118,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. And right now he's sitting at 38.5 million monthly listeners, which I believe on Spotify, only 100 or 200 artists in the entire globe have 35 million monthly listeners or more. He has had a recent push in his music because of everything that's been happening, but
But he's been he's gotten that big. Wow.
He's opening for SZA's SOS tour. He opened for that tour. And I do think that a lot of people like to find reasons to hate people who suddenly get famous. And like, again, I'm telling you everything that's happened in the context of that time, not in 2025. This is when he first starts blowing up. So just giving you the context. From what I can tell, he was very generally well-liked at that point. It's very hard for people to even argue that he's not talented. I know that there's lots of musicians that pop off on TikTok and people are always like, they're not even that good. It's not even great music. It's just TikTok viral songs. Most people would probably admit, maybe not now, but 2 years ago, that he does seem objectively talented. A lot of his aura also comes from the fact that he's very abstract, if you will, on how he creates music. He definitely has a whole process to it. He still likes to primarily record on his phone. Even if he goes to the studio to collaborate with very big artists, which he has done, he will come back home and record it on his phone, and that will be the one that's released. Which I do think a lot of people liked that. He said at one point he was making 9 songs a day. The overwhelming majority have not been released, but I think in hindsight, this adds to lots of people's speculations that there have been unreleased songs. So it's clear that he has a huge vault of music that has yet to be released. I think a lot of people also like the fact that he did get a vocal coach at the height of his career, which a lot of artists will have one, and a huge factor for that being you can blow out your voice to the point where you cannot sing for weeks at a time, which would be your livelihood. It's very important. But David says that he had a vocal coach for a minute, but quote, but then I realized I started this thing in the most unorthodox way possible, just off Fortnite and BandLab, so I quit. And I turned to YouTube tutorials, looked it up on YouTube. I remember I was training for the big show in Houston the other day, and I was like, how to do vocal warm-ups and how to do vocal runs just on YouTube before the show, and I was just going crazy on YouTube, bro. which sounds like he's a very relaxed artist who doesn't really care. But one reporter who interviewed David for a magazine cover says he is not going to let anything stand between him and making his dreams a reality. His career blows up so quickly that there's just no transitioning into it. David says, I went from never going to a concert. The first concert I went to was my own. And now I'm doing a 50-show tour.
It was crazy. I mean, having no prior knowledge of any concert, any show, my parents never took me to any concerts, and having my first show be my own show was probably the best way I could have approached live shows.
David goes from being homeschooled to suddenly moving to the Hollywood Hills, going on tours, opening for SZA. He does say that homeschooling took one of the biggest tolls on him, just the isolation aspect of it. He says, I made a couple of friends that were homeschooled, but there was no extracurricular activities. It was just me at home playing Fortnite, getting schoolwork done, learning how to code and build computers for 4 years.
Wait, how old is he?
He was only homeschooled for 4 years in high school, but right now, today, he's 20 years old.
He's 20 right now?
Yes.
So, and this is like 3 years ago, right?
Yes.
So he was like 17?
Yes.
17, 18? Wow.
Wait, is he? Yes, he's 20 right now. But one of the big outlets he has when he's being homeschooled is parkour. Parkour, literally. David's dad grew up doing martial arts, so he wanted his sons to have some sort of discipline created through that type of hobby. So they go to a parkour warehouse. David did go viral because he attempted a backflip at Coachella and he lost infinite aura. That was like the meme because he tried to use the stage as leverage for a backflip. It was very slippery, so he just fell straight on his back and his neck. He says, I'm embracing it. We all miss a backflip once in our lives. But even the guys that work at the parkour facility in Houston, I mean, they've known David for a minute. They say that when he started homeschooling for high school, they could tell. They say, I could just see the shift in his energy.
I could see the shift in his energy.
This becomes important later. I've always kind of noticed when he would come in, just headphones on, it was just the fact that I think he felt very disconnected. David says, transitioning from public school to homeschool is tragic. I thought I had a lot of friends in middle school, and then after being homeschooled, nobody's hitting me up. Nobody's asking me where I'm at. Why am I not coming to school today? It made me question, what is the real friend? Like, do I have any of those? He says, but it was cool, I guess, because I did find a lot of new passions, just being alone and finding myself individually, being myself and being a nerd and watching anime and not being made fun of for watching anime, like doing this, that, and the third. So just to give you an idea, David's whole aura online is creative, artistic, religious, grew up in a super Christian household in Texas, somewhat sheltered from homeschooling, but ultimately very talented. People say that he's genreless, or well, that's what they said, that he was very genreless. He didn't have a specific style that he stuck to. He seemed very experimental. He doesn't give off that very strong bad boy fucking around in LA type of aura. He seems very chill, family oriented. September 8th, 2025 at 12:30 p.m. Employees from Hollywood Tow, they call the police. The report reads, there is a 2023 Tesla Model Y that is emanating a foul odor and attracting flies. A few things are worth noting. September 8th, 2025 is a notably colder day in the Hollywood Hills, so it's not even thick and humid and muggy weather. The car just has that strong of a foul scent, and the car has been impounded. The car's in the tow lot, meaning someone called the tow company, a resident from the Hollywood Hills, and said, hey, there is this car on the street that I live on, and it's been there for like 3 weeks. It hasn't moved in that spot for 72 hours. Can you come tow the car? So they towed the car. It's not towed because it has a flat tire. It's not towed because it was in a car accident. It's just parked on a random residential street and it has Texas license plates. The neighbors thought it was weird. So they're like, can you guys please just come get this car? It's in the tow yard. LAPD show up to the scene. They open up the front trunk and inside of a bag is a dead body. According to TMZ, and you can decide how you want to take this information coming from TMZ, but according to them, the body found in the Tesla was chopped up and heavily decomposed. Also, the word usage there is strange, but they're alleging that whoever the body was at this point was dismembered. According to Times, the remains are described as, quote, a head and a torso. Now, the LA Times have since revised that, and they have changed it to, quote, initially the remains have been described as a head and a torso. but they don't elaborate. So they don't say, correction, this is what was originally reported, but never mind. It just says that's what was previously reported. So there are all of these debates online of, was the body dismembered? Was the body not dismembered? Was the body in pieces because decomp was so bad? Was it a natural process of the decomposition, or was it not a natural process? There's a lot of debates. We don't even really have a time frame of death that can be confirmed. Some reports are saying that the body was dismembered, others are saying in pieces. So as of filming this, take it as you will. But what is confirmed is a dead body was found inside the trunk of the Tesla. They run the car plates. The car is registered to David Anthony Burke, famous musician, D4VD, David. At first, for 0.2 seconds, there are brief concerns and questions online that it was David himself in the trunk. But since he's on tour, it's quickly verified that he is very much alive and well, at least physically. But then who is in the car? That same day, a TikTok from March 9th, 2023. So this is years ago.
2.5 years ago. Yeah.
That starts circulating, and the video starts showing up on people's feeds again. The algorithm is pumping it out after 2 years. It's a creator by the name of Nicholas, and he's in the aisle of a grocery store. The camera's rolling behind him, and it's obviously a bit. It's like the, hey, what do you do for work type of, hey, how much do you pay for rent? It's one of those TikToks in a grocery store. He sees someone going through the chip aisle. Excuse me, quick question. The guy looks up. It's David. He's wearing a white dress shirt covered in blood. So remember his Itami alter ego. That's all. You can tell it's Itami because he is always wearing a white dress shirt covered in blood.
Is this like a character he's playing right now?
It's a character in his music videos that shows up frequently in pretty much almost all of his music videos for the past 3 years.
Oh, every video.
Almost all of them.
Wow.
Almost all.
In this one, he's at a grocery store dressed up as that character.
Yes.
I see.
And there's like a bloody handprint on one side of the shirt. He's holding a giant tub of Tide laundry detergent. When he turns around, Nicholas notices, I mean, it's obviously a staged collaboration. Oh shit, what are you up to?
You call me my work clothes, bro. You know, I still got the tie. I'm trying to clean up a little bit.
You think Tyler's gonna get all that out?
I hope so.
What's your name?
David.
How are you feeling today?
It's raining outside. I think I got a cold. I'm kind of sick.
What song do you put on when you're in bed and feeling sick?
Romantic homicide.
How does that one go?
I'm scared.
And in the middle of the chip aisle, David starts singing, I'm scared, it feels like you don't care, in the back of my mind, you died. The video starts getting pushed out to the algorithms once the news breaks that a body was found inside of his trunk. And so people are questioning and looking at it very strangely because yes, coincidences and like we don't have a lot of information. We don't know who is in the trunk. Body has yet to be identified. David is on tour when this body is found. So there's not a strong connection that people are side-eyeing too heavily by this point. It's just, it's weird. And this video, people are almost making memes. I don't think it's appropriate, but they are making memes of like, oh, work clothes, you say? So what do you do for work? So there's all of these questions. It's not like a strong, he's guilty of something, lock him up, he did something. It's more so, this is all weird and the internet is going to do what the internet does. But that's all we really know at this point. I mean, and it's practically nothing. We know that a body is found in his trunk. We know that his Tesla was left out on a public street outside of his Hollywood Hills house that his manager was renting, that David was most likely living in. So the lease is under his manager's name, Josh Marshall, but David is most likely living there. The Tesla was parked for the past 3 weeks, but 72 hours, it hasn't really moved. People in LA do not play about parking your car on the street without parking permits. It gets towed to Hollywood Tow. They call, they say it's a scent, and this car has never been registered as stolen. Which doesn't necessarily mean it wasn't stolen. It just has not been reported as being stolen. So as netizens are waiting for updates, simultaneously, people online are digging up another music video to the song One More Dance by David. And this starts going viral. Clips of it start going viral immediately on TikTok. This was posted February 7th, 2025. So almost exactly 8 months before a body is found in David's car. The music video opens with Itami wearing the bloody dress shirt and a white blindfold, dragging another version of David, regular David, dragging his unconscious body onto the ground. We're gonna dive deeper into this whole music video later, but he's dragging the unconscious version of him, and then 2 more people come up and they throw his body into his trunk.
So like he has so many videos about death.
And trunks and cars.
Yeah. So everything is like, oh my God, look at this.
And
right?
blood and funeral. And at the time that the news breaks, he has those caskets at his concert. So it's like, this is happening when the news breaks. It's not a tour from last year. It's going on right now.
Yeah.
And they drive off in this car, and more on that later. But David described that music video as the other two people that show up to help Itami put David in the car. They're cult members that love Itami, and they're going around with Itami in the trunk, and they're burying David after I die. And netizens are just confused and weirded out at this point. But again, none of the comments by this point in time are saying that he's guilty. They're just saying, this is very strange. This is odd. This is weird. What are the odds that he has a music video where he's shoving someone, albeit himself, into the trunk of a car, and then there's a dead body found in the trunk of his car? Like, the odds of that must be pretty low, right? Others are saying it's not that low. Putting bodies in the trunk of a car is like a movie stereotype. Everybody does it. But that's not an admission of guilt. That's not really evidence. A lot of netizens at that point feel like perhaps it's a reach. Perhaps we should all go outside and touch grass. It's actually a strange, traumatizing circumstance for everyone involved. Probably even David is how netizens feel. Because, I mean, first of all, whoever is found deceased, their family members are traumatized. But David is 20, he's on tour, his car is impounded. The speculation that netizens have is his car was probably stolen by someone in LA and they used it to hide a dead body, and now he's connected to this, and he's this young man just starting his career. He's probably also traumatized. And all these speculations are just getting crazy because there has been no official statements being made. The police don't arrest David, so everyone's just making statements. Some people even get very mad at brands like Hollister and Crocs. Hollister and Crocs have a collaboration. David was the main model for that collab. They quietly pull most of his images from the Hollister website.
Huh.
This is before the body is identified. Okay, just to give you an idea, when the body is found in David's trunk, there's a layer of suspicion, there's a layer of strangeness, but it's an overwhelming feeling of this is weird, and we typically don't like to give people in Hollywood the benefit of the doubt because they all do some weird stuff. However,
Yeah.
I mean, look at his past career, look at his history. He seems like a nice guy, and he's on tour, so it's not like he's in LA and they find a dead body. It just seems like it's just a very shitty circumstance for everyone. I mean, David, yes, but mainly the deceased and their family, whoever they are. But once the body is identified, I will say everything changes. So just bear with me at this point. People are saying, I mean, Hollister, them pulling that, people are commenting, I hope David's fans boycott Hollister because
Immediately, the day after?
it was like the day after.
Wow.
Innocent until proven guilty. Another comment agrees. I agree. The poor guy is on tour and this happens to him. I mean, it's probably freaky for a 20-year-old to go through. Others are saying, I guess it's good advertising for Hollister because now everyone knows about them. But it's also not good if this guy is completely innocent. No one's going to risk working with them ever again. Eventually, Hollister and Crocs make a statement which reads very plainly, we are aware of this developing story. With respect to the current situation, we have removed the campaign content featuring David while the investigation continues. Again, very vague. News networks are trying to get police to give them more information, trying to reach out to David's camp. All they get is David's spokesperson telling NBC News that the singer has been, quote, informed about what's happened. That makes it sound like he just found out. Informed about what's happened, and although he is still out on tour, he is fully cooperating with the authorities. So it's vague, but if you look into this vague statement, it sounds like, well, maybe it sounds like David had no clue what was happening. This car was impounded, there was a body found, it sounds like he just heard about the news along with everyone, and now he's doing everything to be as helpful as possible with the police, but it's also not really something he's involved with, because why would he not come home? He's still going on his tour dates, and he's cooperating with the authorities. So it feels like it's his car, but that's about the extent of the connection.
Oh, he's still going on tour dates?
Yeah, the very next day he has a show. Oh, just you wait, because we know people who went to that show. Well, not know them, but we found people who went to that show. He does a show the next night, September 9th.
Okay.
So people are thinking, he's not being forced to come back to LA. He's not been arrested. The wording of the spokesperson, he's been informed.
Yeah.
Sounds like he just found out. He's cooperating with authorities and he's still on tour. That makes it sound like it's bad. It's a really sad situation. but he's just not involved.
Yeah.
That's the feeling. And so people feel sympathy for him initially. It also just doesn't really click that David would be involved. People are saying, I mean, look at these TikToks of him. There's one where he's walking down the street and he sees a performer on the side of the street playing a guitar, singing David's very famous Here With Me song. David just casually hops on and gives everyone on this road a private concert. He seems really humble. The person who posts the TikTok says he is so sweet. Like, he was so kind to everyone. One netizen from months prior comments, I love his humbleness. My daughter has seen him twice in LA and he's so sweet, and his mom loves him too. So it seems like they ran into his mother as well. People point out he seems very down to earth. In one interview, he says,
I always try to keep a very peaceful aura, approach everybody with peace and love.
Even with his concerts, he says he wants to make it feel like a show. He says, quote, I try my best to sing to them and make it the best experience that they can, because some of these kids, it's their first concert, and I'm surprised that it's my concert that they're going to first. So I try to make everybody feel as important as they need to be, and it's just, it's insane. So people are saying, look at him, he's such a likable person. It doesn't make sense. In a separate interview, he's asked even about the strangest place that he's made a song. He says, IHOP bathroom. Oh yeah, I got a beat pack, which is just like a pack of beats, literally just files of beats, while I was having dinner after church with my family on Sunday. So again, family oriented. And I was at an IHOP and then I got some beats and I was listening to it on my AirPods and I instantly got inspired and I was like, yo, I need some quiet. So I ran with my phone to the bathroom and I recorded the whole verse in the bathroom.
Yeah, it's like all the reverb. Yeah, you hear toilets flushing in the background.
People are asking online, does that really sound like someone that would be connected to a death? Besides, the car was sitting there for the past 72 hours. David hasn't been in LA, from what we know, in the past 72 hours because of his tour schedule. It's actually been reported that he probably hasn't even been in LA for the past month because of his tour. Reported. He's traveling with his entire team. Probably is not getting free time right now. Tours are crazy. Celebrities, they say it's like the most insane thing you'll ever do. It's clearly unrelated to him. Also, he hasn't been arrested. And it's a Tesla. That's what netizens are saying. They're commenting things like, don't Teslas record? So if it's found in a Tesla, I'm sure the first thing the police do is check the Tesla footage, and then they see David has nothing to do with it. Otherwise, they would have immediately arrested him. He wouldn't have gone to his next show. That's what people are commenting. Others are saying, yeah, I was under the impression they record everything because there was that guy that had scratched up all the Teslas in a car park and they got him because everything was recording. No one was inside any of the Teslas, but it was all recorded. So they're like, obviously, if he's not been arrested and it was in a Tesla, which, side note, I do think you can turn that feature off, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, actually. I do think so, but that's what people are writing online. Others are speculating it's a serial killer. There was a body found in a Honda in a South LA tow yard a few days prior. If they find any other bodies in tow yards in cars, it will appear as though we have a serial killer on our hands. Another one reads, a second vehicle in South LA was found to contain a dead body, also in a tow yard. I feel like there's a strange pattern here. There was indeed another body found inside of a Honda Civic in South LA on August 25th. This is a completely separate tow yard, and South LA is relatively quite a distance from Hollywood Tow. Details are pretty limited. However, the investigation is not tied to the Hollywood Tow Yard investigation. The police have confirmed that. But one person comments, how bad is your luck that a car that you are driving has a dead body in the trunk? Or maybe you abandoned the car on purpose. The whole thing is crazy. Some people are saying, but isn't it weird that he's still on tour? One person comments, I'm sorry, but if a dead body is found in my car, I'm gonna go home and figure it out. It seems weird. But others are fighting back. Like, it's not like he's Sherlock Holmes. He's gonna go home and figure what out? The police are figuring it out. He's cooperating. He should cancel all of his fans. Like, do the fans get refunds? So people are having these back and forth conversations. We were able to connect with people who went to the concert September 9th. So this is like less than 24 hours. Probably a little more than 24 hours since the body has been found in his trunk. I don't know when he found out about it, but it's less than 24 hours since the public has known. He has a concert that night in Minnesota, and they were under the impression that David is not connected at all.
Who was the people in the crowd?
Yes.
So everyone at that point has heard of the news, but nobody's thinking, oh, something more. It's just a really bizarre event that happened.
Yeah, so we were talking to, I'm just going to say them because they don't want to be identified, but they, as in, it's a group of friends that went to the concert in Minnesota. And I was talking and asking a bunch of questions about that concert. And they said, no, I mean, everyone in the crowd, nobody was under the impression that something suspicious was going on. It was not a weird energy of like, oh, it's sus, but I already bought my ticket. It was genuinely, he is not connected. In fact, there were even conversations of like, we need to make sure that mainstream media does not try to drag down a person of color without evidence, because so far there's no connection. And like, of course, the media does in fact do that. You know, there have been lots of cases where that happens, which is, these are very valid concerns. But they were just saying like, that was the energy. Like everyone is like, no, like clearly he's not involved. The police did not name him as a suspect. He's not flying back to LA. He's cooperating with the authorities. It just sounds like a really sad, random coincidence. They describe his energy that night as, quote, he performed as if nothing was wrong, had a ton of energy and pep. I remember he threw some labubus into the crowd, but he also, okay, this is hindsight. He also gave extra attention to 2 child fans on the second floor balcony. He signed one of his merch t-shirts for the little girl. I didn't see any caskets at this concert, which would make sense. There wasn't any more...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that like a change he made after the discovery?
Yeah, it seems like it.
Huh.
I couldn't verify that every single place had a casket prior, but...
This one doesn't.
Yeah, which would make sense even if he's not connected.
Yeah.
Just out of respect, it would make sense, right?
Yeah.
So that at that time, they did not think that was strange. There was also not heavy security present. It was just a normal concert. They say in hindsight, the only thing that they found strange, okay, they did find this strange at the concert as well, but even more so now, is that David kept encouraging men in the crowd to keep being performative. But I will say David is chronically online from what it seems. And I do know that that was like a huge conversation recently, like performative men conversation. But he just kept saying, stay performative. And like the men, stay performative. Do you like matcha and labubus? And they said it was just weird. It was just kind of like weird things to say in a concert. Because you're like trying to hype up the crowd. You're trying to connect with them. And then to be like, where are my men at? Stay perform. It's weird. Like, are they supposed to, is that a diss? Is that not a diss? Like who's being dissed? It doesn't make sense. It was weird. Or like, where are my performative men at? But one thing was strange. There was no encore. So after a concert, it's pretty customary that all the artists do a show of like, okay, bye. And then everyone's like, encore, encore. And that's like the whole point. You chant. And then the artist is like, fine. And they do like 5 or 6 more songs. And then even when they walk off for good, usually people will still scream encore in like the tiny sliver of a chance that they'll do a second encore, which like doesn't happen often, but you can never not try. There was no encore. So they don't know, I don't know, yeah. Is it because people are trying to be respectful that maybe he had a lot going on outside of the concerts? Or if it was just maybe the energy was not great at the end, but they didn't mention it wasn't great. He just ran across the stage at the end saying, I love you, Minnesota. And that was about it. I will say that the concert goers that I talked to, they very much regret attending. Had they known all the new developments, they never would have gone. And they actually feel like it's been weighing on them that they went. But they do say, genuinely, if you see online people had gone to that concert, you'll see that some people are just dogging on them. And they're saying at that time, you have to realize like it was different at that time because things were developing and they're developing at a quicker pace right now. But at that time, most people, even online, they either didn't know David and they were making memes or they were making jokes, or they knew David and they were like, oh, this is like sad situation all around. And then there were obviously a group of people that were like, this is suspicious, this is strange, but it was not the majority. And the rollout of information is excruciatingly slow. And I don't say that as in the authorities should tell us everything. I actually think it's good when they don't, especially when it protects the integrity of the case. Although I'm not sure that's what's happening here. But it's just so slow. And it makes people online try to look for their own answers. The medical examiner issued a statement stating that the victim is a female, about 5 feet 1 inches tall, weighing 71 pounds, curly black hair, wearing a tube top with black leggings in a size small, a metal stud earring, and a metal chain bracelet, like a yellow colored one in the shape of a W. The ME states that they have not yet determined her exact age or cause of death, but the police are investigating the case as just a death investigation. So a lot of people were initially fixated on the victim's height and weight, with some saying either this is a very malnourished person or this is a child.
Yeah, 71 pounds, crazy.
Yeah. Even for a child, I do think that's quite thin for 5 feet 1 inches. 8 days later, however, September 17th, 2025, the body in David's car is identified as 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. News reports often state that she was 15 years old, but according to the ME reports, she was found severely decomposed on September 8th, 2025. Her birthday is the day before, September 7th. So it is very likely that she would have not made it to her 15th birthday. The ME further states she appears to have been deceased inside the vehicle for an extended period of time before being found. And the timeline is a little hard to piece together. There is a report that states that August 27th, so this is 12 days before Celeste's body is found in the trunk, a report is done where authorities come out to give the car a citation. And they do note a big dent in the rear end of the Tesla. They mark where the Tesla is parked with white chalk to see if it's going to move around.
Oh, the car has been sitting there for 12 days?
Okay, so it's all very vague. Some neighbors are saying, we've seen that Tesla around for like the past 3 weeks, just kind of, they don't necessarily say moving around, but it seems like no one's paying exact attention of where that Tesla is parked every day. So they're like, I feel like we've seen that for about 3 weeks, like that car.
Yeah.
But it is confirmed that the car had not moved in the past 72 hours because that's when you can tow it. That's why they did the white chalk. They eventually tow the car.
But the police came out to write the report.
Yes.
When was that again?
That was 12 days before. So they just report like a big dent. But it's not like immediate. It's not like 72 hours, let me come back. It just seemed like it was, you know, no one had, it didn't seem urgent.
Yeah. But then Tesla also have like insane, you can log it. Like, so you can check everything.
Yeah.
Where has it been?
The neighbors say the car has been around, and the medical examiner says the body is decomposed to the point that examiners could not determine age, eye color, and ethnicity. When it is revealed that the body belonged to Celeste Rivas Hernandez, people find out that she went to school about 80 miles out of Los Angeles in Lake Elsinore. Celeste has been reported as a missing child multiple times prior, but most recently, she was reported missing April 5th of 2024. So well over a year ago. But the big question now is, where has Celeste been since April of 2024? How is she connected to David? How did she die? Where was she for the past year? What was she doing? Was she with David? The only tidbit of information the public gets once she's been further identified is, some people knew about this information prior to the identification of the body. A lot of reports on TMZ were talking about it, but I think maybe some people take TMZ with many grains of salt, naturally. She does have a tattoo, like tattooed on her right index finger in red ink, which David also has a matching one. The people who are fans of David or wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt before Celeste is identified, when they hear that news, they think it's not the most uncommon tattoo. Rihanna made it popular. So Rihanna had that tattoo. David's a musician. He's probably very much into Rihanna. It just seems like lots of people have that kind of tattoo. Maybe it's like having a butterfly tattoo. It's not the most crazy, insane, unique piece that's ever been done. But comments read, there's only 3 options. This dude needs to change his circle, or he's involved, or he's got too many damn cars. So people are saying either someone in his circle did this, because David was, there's also reports that lots of people had access to the car. That's what the police said. David's crew, probably his camp, his team, everyone had access to most of his vehicles. I'm assuming he's a celebrity, he's on tour. It seems like everyone could get it. Maybe assistants used it. Maybe his manager used it. I don't know, right? So it seemed like lots of people were in and out of that car. So people are saying either someone in his circle did it, or he's involved, or he has so many cars, they're getting lost and stolen and all these weird things are happening. But then The same day, a tweet starts making the rounds online of the original poster. So this is the original poster of the tweet. They're saying, David Discord chat shows matching name Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Not a good look at all. Looks like some people knew. Basically alleging that yes, the body has been identified, and not only that, there are connections between David and Celeste. They're saying this is not a random link. This is not a random body that's been found inside of David's trunk. This is somebody that he knew, perhaps intimately. And this OP on Twitter, they start posting screenshots of a Discord server. So Discord, if you guys are unfamiliar, it's like a messaging app. People join a server and then you can just like talk to everybody on that server. And David is in that server. So this is David's Discord server, and he's been very active. He's previously spoken about Discord in interviews. He's even pre-released songs on Discord, I believe. So this is a very big part of his life. October 23, 2022. 18 months before Celeste is reported missing. She would have just recently turned 12 years old. David asks in the Discord, Celeste in here? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Just Celeste, not her full name.
Yes.
How do we know it's okay? That's all he says, Celeste.
Yes.
Okay.
A username, Celeste, responds back, hi, David Bark. So making a fun dig at his name, David Burke is his real name.
Okay.
Then in another screenshot, it shows March 28th, 2024, 1 month before Celeste is reported missing and 18 months before her body is found. A bunch of Discord users are debating David's dating life, writing, I don't know. I know he never had a girlfriend, but who knows? He might have had like a sneaky link. Other users report back, he has a girlfriend. Another one writes, pretty sure he's dating right now. What? Yeah, skull emoji, skull emoji. Her name is Celeste. He said he was never in a relationship ever in his story. Like he put on his Instagram story that he's never been in a relationship. Someone just comments, she's so pretty. Wait, show me. That's about it for that conversation. Then August 5th, 2024, so 4 months after Celeste is reported missing. This is about a year before her body is found. Someone on the server writes, drop the song. The one with the missing girl, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. This is a screenshot. So like I said, screenshots can be edited, can be altered, but I would say that most netizens are on the page of, this is a legitimate screenshot.
Wait, that is crazy. Someone dropped the full name?
Yeah. So this is not
Who
a
is
random
this person?
Celeste.
Are people trying to find? Can people? I guess you can't really find out on Discord.
Yeah, and it's just like there's a lot of Discord drama we're gonna get into.
Wow.
Up until this point, all the other messages seem like they can be explained away. One easy explanation would be there's more than one Celeste, which is later evident, but we will get to that. But this last message is weird. The original poster to all of this goes pretty viral, which a good chunk of people are accusing him of faking these screenshots. So he goes to screen record the Discord chat logs to prove that it's not photoshopped, which I guess he's either a master photoshopper or these are real chat logs that indeed did happen on a server. But that's not even the part that netizens find weird. The part that people find suspicious is right after he releases all of this on X, he posts another screenshot. He's been kicked from the Discord server. He writes, yeah, so I screen capped every username and ID, sent it to the authorities. Can't post them on here since I don't want to get sued for defamation or doxing them. Then another TikTok starts going through everyone's algorithms, which appears to be David in a parking lot getting out of his black Tesla with a caption, David photographed an area where the victim lived. I will say, we have no clue where this picture was taken with 100% accuracy. We don't have metadata for the picture. It could be in Lake Elsinore, it could be in Kentucky. Some netizens have taken to Google Maps to geolocate the exact location, and if I had to make a judgment, a personal opinion, it does appear that he was in Lake Elsinore. And if netizens geolocation spot very well, that picture was allegedly taken really close, about a 6-minute walk from where Celeste Rivas Hernandez lives.
What kind of photo is it? Like
It's just him in a parking lot talking to another kid.
someone sneakily took a photo, or is it like a post photo?
No, it's like someone's, I don't think they sneaky, but it's not post.
Oh, someone just snapped a
Yeah.
photo. Like, here's David.
Probably like a Snapchat photo of like, oh my God,
Look at David.
David's in our town.
Right. Okay.
And Lake Elsinore is a pretty small town. I mean, we lived in LA for almost a decade. I've never really heard of Lake Elsinore. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's like a destination everyone goes. If you're like, he was spotted in West Hollywood, it's kind of, oh, well, there could be lots of reasons for that. I don't know if that's a coincidence, but people thought that was very strange. That coupled with Celeste's mother told TMZ that Celeste had a boyfriend named David. So Celeste's whole family has been very quiet about this entire case. I would expect that they are working, hopefully, very closely with law enforcement, but there are other speculations and rumors of why they've been so silent online. But Celeste's mother has spoken to TMZ, and she stated that Celeste had a boyfriend named David, and that Celeste had been missing for more than a year. And all of this added together is definitely not making David appear like he has no connection. I'm not saying he's guilty. I would not be able to know such a thing, but it appears he is connected, in my opinion. And it feels like by this point, every 3 minutes, a new video starts going viral. This one is taken in a classroom. Celeste's alleged former teacher is in a class with his students. He's a science teacher. Out of nowhere, and someone's like sneaky recording this, one of the students. He takes out his phone, busts it out, and tells his students that he used to teach Celeste. It's like a little strange. I don't think he knew one of his students was recording him, but he's like, that's her in my classroom in front of this poster right here.
When I taught her, she met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our school, kind of told people this story. She disappeared again in May of that year, May of 2024. That's when her friends told me what happened, that it was this rapper, and then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car, cut into pieces. You want to know how they met? I feel like I just said it. Social media.
This is legit. A legit video of a teacher talking?
Yes. TMZ has reached out to the teacher, who told them that she was frequently absent from school. He didn't really know anything else about her home life, but he was just telling his students this as a cautionary tale to be careful of who you talk to on social media. Wow. Which there's drama with the teacher. Some people say he looks way too excited to be sharing this story that he knows Celeste. Some people think it's a cautionary tale. It's a whole mess. But that's ultimately the important thing of that.
But that's crazy. Wow. How do you explain that?
Yeah. And while all of this is going viral, you have almost complete radio silence from those that are actually connected to this case, which is understandable, but it definitely doesn't help the growing mountain of speculations. The only statements Celeste's family have made since the recording of this video are from her GoFundMe page, which read, as many of you know, Celeste Rivas Hernandez has been identified as the body found last week. She was a beloved daughter, sister, cousin, and friend. Her family is heartbroken and devastated by this tragic loss. They are seeking help to lay her body to rest. Any funds you are able to donate are greatly appreciated. Signed, the Rivas Hernandez family. Their original goal was $20,000, and they have since surpassed it. There have been unconfirmed statements by the family, such as another tweet goes viral. An Instagram account was created in 2020. So this is confirmed that this Instagram account was created in 2020, but we don't know who is behind this Instagram account. Apparently, David follows this Instagram account. It's like a private account, no pictures, barely any followers. It's like a random account. The allegation being that this account belongs to Celeste's brother, Matthew, who's 18. So this is allegedly Celeste's brother. Someone DM'd Celeste's alleged brother asking, dude, why does David follow you? All respect to your sister, and I hate how shitty people are being. Was it really him? Jesus. All love, man. Celeste's alleged brother, alleged real account, responds, yes, it was him, because he found my account out of nowhere and he followed me. I guess the insinuation being that David wanted to keep tabs on Celeste's family members to make sure that he knew what they were saying about what was going on, considering Celeste has been considered missing. The DMs continue. Whoa, he has it coming. That's wild. Just randomly. Did you ever even talk to him? Celeste's alleged brother responds, I met him once in person. Did you and your family know of your sister being with him? Like, was she living with him? All this shit is so confusing and disgusting. I knew and went to the police about it, but lack of evidence, so it's waved off. Bullshit. And now that there's like 1,000 people backing you up and it's not going to happen again, but if they had listened, basically saying shit to the cops. Even then, they don't do anything. They haven't done anything towards him. That's how it is with celebrities. Just look at Diddy. They don't do shit. I know, it sucks. Fucking crazy. People suffer for it. How long has she been gone? Dead? 2 weeks. Damn, that soon? People have been saying like a month. The dude's a weirdo. His songs all have weird messages and imagery. What do you think happened? Like he just didn't want her to expose him being with her? I don't know. Damn, was your sister in love with him and choosing to stay? I'm guessing it was all him just manipulating her. Yeah, she was always saying that he was waiting until she was 18 to get married and stuff like that. Being sick. What's crazy is all these people in his circle who knew and didn't say shit I saw one guy got sued by him. Oh yeah, okay, so this is a whole thing. I'm sure you would have been too if you kept pushing. Dog, what? I never knew that. My sister wouldn't say anything, ever. Dude, there's so much in that Discord that he has. What the f***? What There's a Discord? The person allegedly talking to allegedly Celeste's brother sends screenshots of Discord conversations, and Celeste's alleged brother writes back, what the f***? No f***ing way, dude. Please send me more if you know, dude. Dude, I never knew this shit. I wish I had known. I could have used this. I don't even have Discord.
What's on the Discord? Is it the one that you just read, or there's more?
It's mainly that. And then a guy was talking about how there were allegations that he heard rumors that David was talking to minors. And he had said something about it, and David threatened to sue him for defamation. And David even talked about it on his Discord, allegedly, where he wrote, like, he's about to owe me $30K for the defamation lawsuit. So there are screenshots of that, but we're going to go more on that later. But one part of the DMs that make people believe that this is in fact Celeste's brother is he does send 3 pictures of Celeste. Technically, they could be pulled online. Technically, this could be Celeste's friend from school who found these pictures. I don't know, but the pictures look like someone who probably knew her. But we have no clue if this is Celeste's brother, and if this conversation is real, and if it's even taken place. So far, the only confirmed statements that the brother has made as of filming this is he has apparently told NBC LA that Celeste's family are grieving and are aware of the singer David, and that Celeste knew David. He just gives one statement that says she was on her way to see a movie with him but never returned. He also states that David would frequently pick up Celeste in the very Tesla that she would be found deceased in.
Oh, so the whole family is pointing finger at David directly.
Seems like it, yes.
By these statements. Wow.
Yes. And another statement to NBC News states that Celeste's 18-year-old brother says the family is struggling and, quote, I'm just trying to stay positive. I'm just trying to move forward. My mom's grieving real bad. My dad's grieving real bad. Celeste also has a sister. Now, this is again unconfirmed, but it has been widely accepted that Celeste's sister seems to have reactivated Celeste's old Instagram account, renamed it to Justice for Celeste, posted a few stories. So the stories read along the lines of bringing this account back, please share, last seen in Lake Elsinore. So these are like and another story where, can we please spread this story? There's a link to the GoFundMe, and another one that reads, we lost our girl, but we did everything. Flyers at her school, TikToks, Instagram, Facebook, police, family searching everywhere. Even our family in Mexico shared and prayed for her. And another post reads, my mom hasn't spoken in a week. She feels she failed her daughter, but she didn't. She did everything. Our house is quiet and broken. Aside from that, nobody else has really spoken out. Ruby Alonso, a resident of Lake Elsinore, she told the LA Times that she's known Celeste and the entire family since maybe Celeste was in kindergarten. She has a son around Celeste's age. She tells the LA Times that after running away, she does recall Celeste being brought back on one occasion by herself.
How does she know Celeste? Just like their family?
Yeah, they all live in Lake Elsinore, and her son is around Celeste's age, so they probably go to the same schools.
I see.
And she said that at one point Celeste came back from running away by herself. And then there was another time where the police brought her back home.
Wow. So the police also knows a lot then.
And that's why people believe that the LAPD is being very hush-hush. Some people originally thought that they're being hush-hush because David is a famous musician and they want to cross their T's and dot their I's because of what happened to the likes of Sean Combs and pretty much a lot of musicians. Which I think is the case, but I also think that they're taking their time to probably cover their own problems.
So they know this girl probably has a connection with David already, but they didn't do enough, for example.
Yes, and a big topic of the conversation is, had this 14-year-old girl been white, the whole town would have been flipped upside down. Especially a person of color, a black man would have been arrested without a body, without anything really, just any vague connection. They might have arrested him already. So there's that conversation, as well as the fact that, this is in Los Angeles. She's Latina, and they come from a not so well socioeconomic background. And it's just the reoccurring conversation of, in LA, the backbone of LA is the Latino community, and yet when something happens to them, the police don't care. So there have been lots of big discourse that I think the police are trying to make us shut up, basically.
I see.
Yes. And the teacher even said that Celeste was brought back from Hollywood. If that's the case, who knows how much the police know? From Hollywood is a very, very specific statement to make. Not just brought back from LA.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
it's weird.
Yeah.
Ultimately, Ruby, the neighbor, says she deserves justice. It's just so sad. She was studious, a hard worker, and intelligent. Another resident, the Nadaf family, they own Del Lago Spirits, which is a business that's been in the area for the past 11 years. He tells the LA Times that March 19th, so this was in 2024, almost 2 years ago. No, like a year and a half ago. Celeste's sister came in to ask for footage. This is a month before she's last seen, and he pulls CCTV footage where at 7 a.m., a young little girl is seen walking down the street by herself. He says he believes that that's Celeste. And he believes that she got into a car down the street from the store, but she walked out of frame, so he can't see the car, he can't be certain, but he thinks that this is Celeste. He states the police have not contacted him for this video, but he does remember Celeste. She and her friends would stop by to buy some snacks here and there, and he says, she was always so quiet, shy, just a sweet child. I feel a connection to the community, and it's just so heartbreaking to see this. But none of the statements really answer any questions. As for David's side, there was that brief statement that David was made aware he's cooperating with the authorities, but that statement was before the body has been identified. Because after that, he cancels most of his tour dates. And nothing, radio silence. All we know is that he has retained an attorney. Now, I will say retaining an attorney in a situation like this, even if he is innocent, would not be suspicious. I think that that would be the smart thing to do. But people think it's weird that he canceled his tour dates after the body is identified. So when the body is found in his trunk, that seems like the appropriate time. That's when the shock is happening. Everyone's like, wait, what do you mean? And even though people did not think that he was guilty right off the bat, that seems like the time that you would cancel the tour dates. But then the body is identified and then you cancel the tour dates. It feels like, oh, then you are connected to the body that's been found in the trunk. It's just like a weird timing of it. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you cancel it? If you are still very unconnected to the case, you would say, oh, wow, okay, my respects to the victim's family, but I don't know this person. My car was stolen. I feel sad. Like it would be a very generic PR statement that would be pushed out like that. But that's not what happens. Others are confused by the fact that he did not report his car stolen. There's actually a lot of arguments about whether or not car being reported stolen is a big factor in presumed guilt. Some people think that David is rich now. He's on tour, he's busy, he's 20. He's not worried about one of his Teslas going missing. He's probably not keeping up with his belongings like that. Others are saying it's kind of odd that he never reported it stolen. I bet it's him or someone close to him. I doubt a robber or a stranger just took someone's car, let alone a Tesla that everyone knows records, to leave a body in. It's weird. The chances are higher it's him or someone who he knows or works for him. Another person comments, that's what I think. I think it's someone I don't think he knew. I think it's someone that works for him. If they had something on him, he would have been detained. Netizens' grip on the presumption of innocence is getting weaker every hour that this progresses. A search warrant is executed inside David's Hollywood Hills house for several hours, close to 12 hours. The yellow tape goes up. Ton of unmarked police vehicles just parked all around the street. Neighbors report seeing about a dozen officers, law enforcement officers, working in there, combing through the house. Authorities are seen walking out with evidence bags, electronics. The police say that the search warrant, several items of evidence were recovered and will be analyzed by detectives in the coming days. This is an ongoing investigation. Investigators are following up on several leads, which is one of the most vague statements known to mankind. That I think it has to be a skill to give a statement like that. The house is not owned by David. Like I said, it's actually leased by his manager, Josh Marshall, which would make sense. A lot of celebrities don't sign their own lease agreements, but it is likely that David was the one living inside. There's lots of collabs that he filmed inside of that house with other celebrities. It's $20,000 a month to rent, and the actual owner of the house told Rolling Stone, this all comes as a complete shock to me. They didn't even know David the singer. And they especially didn't know that a singer lived in that house. They thought it was a guy named Josh Marshall because that's who signed the lease, right? But they said, until then, I had no idea anything had happened at the house or what was going on with David and the missing girl. I never knew David, and I wasn't aware that he ever even lived in the house. TMZ reports that LAPD had a specific division out at the house that primarily work on finding trace amounts of blood. It's like the luminol squad. They report that they were luminol testing for blood in his house everywhere that you would expect, but also including drains. So this is it's TMZ. They used law enforcement sources that are not identified. And again, it's TMZ. So it's hard to say how accurate this information is. But I think this is what causes everyone to believe that she has been dismembered. There is no concrete proof as of right now because the wording has been consistently changed. Some notable outlets will say that it was just a head and torso found in the trunk, which then others are saying, no, it was her, but in pieces. So it's all over the place. But I think that this drain checking for blood adds to the dismemberment theory that netizens have.
So they were looking, but they don't know where disclosed.
Yes. And technically, as of right now, her manner of death on her medical report is listed as deferred. So that means to be determined, not a homicide. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. That doesn't really mean much. And we'll get into theories of what the cause of death could be if it's something like deferred. But the investigators seem to be operating as if they're investigating a homicide, even though they consistently keep saying it's a death investigation. The investigation is being led by the LAPD Robbery and Homicide Division as a death investigation. They executed a search warrant. The LAPD chief states, we have a lot of resources dedicated to bringing to a conclusion, but to go beyond what's already been made public would be inappropriate. As for whether LAPD are looking into David and Celeste potentially having a relationship, he says, whenever you investigate a homicide, and this was crazy because I was talking to the RM team about this last night, and my husband was like, oh, a homicide. So it is a homicide investigation.
Yeah.
Because we were just reading through it so quick, we didn't even catch it.
Yeah, because this is the whole thing. Everyone's like saying deferred. Like you guys are saying, not sure. I don't know. But then the guy literally goes homicide.
Yeah. I think it was like one of those things where everyone's like, it's definitely a homicide because in a trunk. But then for him to just straight out say it, it was like the only confirmation that we've gotten so far. Because so far they've been, it's a death investigation.
Yeah.
Everything's so close to them. Whenever you investigate a homicide, the detectives look at all of the associated issues as well. And in this case, that's something that they would be looking at. So it's just very vague. While authorities have been searching David's house, the internet has been collectively searching his very extensive digital footprint, and it's bad. I mean, I think we've all seen the viral clips of another musician, Young Thug, in court just jamming out to his song that's playing in the courtroom because the prosecutors have admitted it into evidence. They're using his lyrics as evidence and he's just like vibing in the courtroom. He's enjoying himself so much. Later, the judge recites the lyrics. Hey, this, that slime shit.
Hey, YSL shit. Hey, killing 12 shit. Hey, fuck a jail shit. Hey, cooking white brick. I'm not new to this. Hey.
I'm so true to this. Hey, I can put up a whole slime of 100 licks. Slimer gets slimed. It's that slime shit. Which was supposed to prove Rico. Also, the prosecutors admitted his lyrics, quote, I never killed anybody, but I got something to do with that body, to try and show that Young Thug was engaged in criminal gang activity. The whole thing was a mess, but it was very important because people are now concerned that this is going to become more and more common. Lyrics or social media posts or memes becoming evidence in the court of justice. Others are saying it makes sense because there is truth to art that these musicians create. I don't know how that applies because I feel like lots of authors, lots of film directors should be locked up in jail if that's the case. But the whole internet does pretty much think that David has been confessing to everything in his music. One of David's most popular songs is Here With Me. The music video premiered November 23rd, 2022, and it shows David in a blindfold washing ashore on a beach. So blindfold is typically associated with Itami, but at this point, Itami is like not a known well figure in his music universe. He washes ashore and all he can think about is this girl. She has curly hair. Lots of people say she looks just like the victim Celeste.
But there's a person in the music video.
Yes, but this is someone that's been hired. So it's not Celeste, but it almost, some netizens are saying it looks like he hired people to play Celeste.
Huh.
In this music video.
But this is 2022 though, right?
Yes, and there are speculations that they've known each other since 2021.
Oh, wow. And she was
11 years old. She has curly hair, a white flower in her hair, and it is a montage of them running on the beach, running through water. He's singing to her, "Watch the sunrise along the coast as we're both getting old. I can't describe what I'm feeling. All I know is we're going home, so please don't let me go." And then you have these montages where they're hugging, they're sitting, watching the sunset with their backs turned to the camera. A lot of people say with the resemblance of the love interest, again, it feels like an obsession with Celeste because why does it look like Celeste? The lyrics are, "And if it's right, I don't care how long it takes. As long as I'm with you, I've got a smile on my face. Save your tears, it'll be okay. All I know is you're here with me. Watch the sunrise as we're getting old. I can't describe. I wish I could live through every memory again. Just one more time before we float off in the wind." Then it cuts to him in a blindfold, falling on his knees, realizing that he might have lost her. He doesn't have her right now. And then at the very end, ominously, it's an older David. Like I'm talking middle-aged David. Someone's playing David. Sitting on the beach by himself. So that same bench, he now just puts a white rose where the love interest was sitting. And then he walks towards the water himself and it just cuts to his clothes being on the sand. I guess the insinuation being maybe he walked into the water. Because then young David is now washed ashore and I think the whole thing is like, I gotta go find her. It's like an analyzation of the love of his life and growing old, wanting to grow old. So I guess it's the idea of, yeah, we could fight all we want because there's montages of them fighting. But you know what? At the end of the day, as long as I'm with you, I got a smile on my face. So let me go find her again. Seems to be the vibe. Previously, all the comments on this music video were about sharing how people went through their loss with this song. Some people were talking about how they got married to this song. Some people are saying it's a song that reminds them of their grandparents or how they just don't have a lot of time with their loved ones. But as long as they're together, it's a good time. It's just like a lot of emotional comments. Some people are writing, "I was in the NICU with my son singing this song."
And now, what do you see the comments now?
Yeah, people are just, they read, "I don't care how long it takes. Hits a lot darker when you realize David wrote it about waiting for Celeste to be of age, except he didn't actually wait." Another comment reads, "As we're both getting old, bro, she will never grow old." Even monsters make beautiful music. What a crazy world we live in. Rest in peace, little girl. Another reads, "A demon with the voice of an angel has never felt so real before." It's unclear if this song is about Celeste. There are allegations that he might have potentially known Celeste since 2021. He posts a TikTok that makes people feel that way. We're going to get into that. But David says in an interview that the song Here With Me is actually inspired by the Disney movie Up. He says, "I was watching the movie and I got really inspired by Carl and Ellie's kind of relationship and their story and how Ellie dies and Carl has to go to Paradise Falls by himself. I got inspired by that and I was like, okay, what if I wrote about their relationship, but Ellie stayed alive?"
And I went to the closet. I was like thinking about Carl and Ellie, and I was like, all right, bet I got to think about a relationship as a really old dude and a really old grandma kind of, you know what I'm saying, relationship.
And I made this really beautiful ballad called Here With Me and I kept it in the vault. I was like, okay, this is really good. This is one of my best songs, but I had anxiety and I didn't want to put it out immediately. That has been a song that has been heavily analyzed, as well as a more recent song, March 8th, 2024. This is 1 month before Celeste is reported missing. A music video for My House Is Not a Home goes live. The lyrics read, "Hello, I'm at your door again. I just needed a friend, but now I share a bed with you. I'm not a little boy no more. I've made my stupid choices too. Tell my mother I'm sorry. Tell my father just the same. Tell my sister that her brother might have gone insane. You didn't want to fall in love. You're looking out for yourself now. It's starting to piss me off. I thought I had you figured out. Never thought you would call my bluff. Guess who belongs to someone else now? You get drunk, then start to curse me out. I told you to watch your mouth. That's exactly what my mother would warn me about. I know you're better off alone, babe. I could fix you, but I won't." A lot of netizens are pointing at the line, "I'm not a little boy anymore," and the fact that he's apologizing to his parents and even his little sister. So he does have a brother as well, but he apologizes specifically to his little sister, considering people are saying with these allegations, considering he has a little sister, it's very startling. I guess it's always startling if someone is accused of having inappropriate relationships with a child and they end up having a little sister or they end up having daughters. It's always even more of this is very alarming information. The top comment for that music video now reads, with 4,000 likes, he's not beating this case. Every song is a confession. Another one reads, in every video, he's blaming her. He's mad at her. He feels like she deserved it, like she messed it up for him and ruined him. He's kind of psychotic. His bloody shirt wearing alter ego Itami does make an appearance in this video as well, lighting the house on fire. So this is 1 month after Valentine's Day. 1 month before she's reported missing. And that Valentine's Day, he actually posted a video where he said this is like his first time having a Valentine's Day date. So people think it could be Celeste.
We don't know who. He never said anything.
No.
Okay.
David does release a few songs around that time, like 5 days before Valentine's Day. Another song is dropped called Leave Her. Notable lyrics netizens have obsessed over include, you call me at like 2, I can't sleep, how about you? You want me to come through, I found peace without you. You want what you can't have, but it's my fault, I bought it for you. I can't stop falling for her, did what she want me to, but I still leave her. David says that this song is actually about one of his friends' relationships that he observed, how there was a very big power imbalance. The guy loved the girl way more than she loved him, and that ultimately led them to break up. The same day, he drops another song called 2016. Notable lyrics people have been commenting on read, I'm not the same kid I was in 2016. I was young, I was dumb, now I overthink things. I hate birthdays, they mean nothing to me. I don't celebrate, so don't buy me anything. I don't deserve it, I'm bleeding out on purpose. I didn't care what you said when I was a kid, but you try to ruin my life 1,000 times, but now look at you. David does an interview where he says that this song is to break out of his relationship-driven music so far, and it's like the grungy, gritty, growing up punk rock feeling, which you can hear in the song. But in hindsight, people are saying it's ironic, the fact that he was allegedly dating a child, for him to be talking about what it was like being a child and how you ruined my life when I was a kid, or you tried to 1,000 times when I was a kid, which people find to be rich coming from someone who had the deceased body of a child in his trunk. Additionally, he talks about how birthdays mean nothing to him, but netizens have been overanalyzing one single birthday in this case. There is a connection and allegation that David keeps dropping things on Celeste's birthday. The most frequently talked about one being the music video for one of his most famous songs, suspiciously titled Romantic Homicide, was dropped September 7th, 2022. To give further context though, and preface, that song was released earlier in July 2022, but the music video to the song was released September 7th, 2022. This is where it gets very confusing. People see the upload date, they see Celeste's birthday on her missing poster, they think, okay, this is a confession, he killed her, confessed to it in the song, that's it. Or some people are saying he knew he was going to do it and he confessed in advance, like life imitates art. But it's really hard to determine. Firstly, it has not been confirmed and signed in ink that David and Celeste were in a relationship, but assuming that they were, it's hard to pinpoint exactly when they started allegedly dating. Some people believe 2021. The reason being that Celeste went missing wearing a pair of Hello Kitty shoes, Hello Kitty Crocs. They are listed on her missing poster. She has been photographed in these Hello Kitty Crocs. Overall, she just seems to have a very strong liking for Hello Kitty. But David seems to also be obsessed with Hello Kitty.
Really?
His Instagram profile picture is Hello Kitty and a big bomb, just an explosion in the back of an animated Hello Kitty.
Huh.
In a TikTok, he's standing in a hotel room and it's his song playing in the back. And the caption on the screen is, when your card declines at therapy and they bring in that one Hello Kitty girl you met in 2021. People thought that that was about
What does
Celeste.
that mean? I'm sorry. When your card gets declined and they bring in that Hello Kitty girl, what does that even mean?
It's supposed to be like a TikTok meme. I think it's supposed to be like, I need to pay for therapy, my card is getting declined, but they bring in the Hello Kitty girl and now you like really need therapy. You're like on your knees. Is the vibe.
Okay,
But the most
okay.
important part is Hello Kitty girl that he meets in 2021. You see him fall to his knees before face planting onto the hotel floor, and it's his song, I Can't Stop Falling for Her. This is posted February 7th of 2024, so just like a few months before Celeste is reported missing. What's important though, is in it, he's wearing a Hello Kitty keychain around his pants belt buckle. One of Celeste's friends leaked a photo that Celeste had allegedly sent her. there's no faces. You just see, it's like if you were to hold your phone pointing to the floor and then take a picture. So you see allegedly Celeste pants and Hello Kitty Crocs, the same one that she's been photographed in. And then you see David in the same outfit, allegedly David, and she's kind of tugging on the Hello Kitty keychain that's attached to his belt loop.
Oh, that's a photo that
Yes.
you've seen
Yes.
too. And that matches David's Hello Kitty keychain.
And the outfit that he's wearing in this TikTok.
Oh.
And they match the shoes that Celeste was seen wearing and had gone missing in.
And that's the photo that was leaked by a friend.
Yes.
And you haven't seen that photo from anywhere else. So
Yes.
this is like a legitimate photo from a source.
Yes, but to say that it is 100% Celeste is hard.
Right.
But it seems.
But a lot of things matches, and it's a unique photo from someone.
I think I am being overly cautious. If I were to say my personal opinion, it does seem like it's Celeste. It does. I mean, the odds, there's too many coincidences and the chances of it.
But then
being
it is
else.
true, like with today's AI, it's
Yeah.
hard to really tell what's real and not. So, I don't blame you.
Yeah. Now, one TikTok David reposts are two people getting married, and everything is covered in Hello Kitty. It looks like a wedding in Japan. And the words are, "This is me and my future wife, if you even care." To which the comments read, "She went missing wearing Hello Kitty sandals, ... The way he knew she liked Hello Kitty and then made it into his whole persona is really sick." Then another TikTok from December 2024. This would be 8 months after Celeste is reported missing and 9 months before she's found dead. It shows him waving around 2 Hello Kitty skateboards. And the words on the screen read, "Guess who's building Hello Kitty boards today instead of dropping an album?" In the caption it reads, "Hello Kitty comes first, I don't make the rules." So netizens are like, who is the Hello Kitty skateboard for? Then another one where he is singing to 2 Hello Kitty plushies and hugging them. And the words read, "Me singing to my Hello Kitties because they're the only ones who don't rush me to drop music." Caption reads, "When nobody was there for me, Hello Kitty was there for me." There's another one where he says, "Got a side job cleaning sneakers," and he's washing sneakers outside, and one of them are Hello Kitty sneakers.
Wow.
And they look like the sneakers that Celeste has been pictured wearing. Even more, his recent Instagram post from February 19 of this year, 2025, he does a Forward magazine cover shoot, and a lot of the plushies that he's pictured with, like he's just laying there surrounded by plushies, are from the Hello Kitty universe. There's another one where he posts a picture on Instagram wearing a Hello Kitty acne sticker, which I will say, I think I have the same ones, so I'm not necessarily one to comment on that, but it's on his nose, and it just reads, "Hello Kitty, good eats, great shows, and new music, heart face emoji." Some netizens find his Hello Kitty obsession to be creepy, with netizens writing, "Hello Kitty is literally for the girls and the gays and the kids, like that's it." So there has been that. I don't know, some people are defending it, saying Hello Kitty is kind of like an edgy thing guys will do these days. It's contradicting to their otherwise relatively masculine, edgy energy. It's supposed to be dorky, cool. But that's not the problem. The problem is Celeste went missing wearing Hello Kitty shoes, so the connection seems to be too strong. And then back to the date of the birthday, there is a Discord message circulating which shows a deleted user on Discord. So it just says deleted user interacting with other people on David's Discord. And on September 7th, 2022, someone tells the deleted user, "Happy birthday." Deleted user responds, "Thanks, babe." Now, David was reportedly having interactions with the deleted user, and this same deleted user was posting a picture wearing a ring and a finger tattoo in red ink that reads David. So people think that this is Celeste because she also has another red ink tattoo, allegedly, according to her family, that reads Shh, which matches David's tattoo. So if they've known each other from 2021, like some netizens believe, him uploading his music video for Romantic Homicide on her birthday in 2022 could or could not be a coincidence. I don't know. I will say that in this case specifically, the number of coincidences that my brain is normally comfortable with has been surpassed. In any event, the music video for Romantic Homicide goes up. This would have been Celeste's 12th birthday and almost exactly 3 years before she was found dead in his car. The music video has been analyzed like it is a piece inside of a museum, and it is a weird music video. The video starts with David wearing a full suit and a white blindfold, laying on the cold cement. There's just rain falling on him. He's singing, "I'm scared. It feels like you don't care. Enlighten me, my dear. Why am I still here?" He eventually gets up, walks towards the train tracks where a train is passing by. And you know how in between the train cars and even the train windows, you can see someone on the other side. It looks like the ghost of a girl wearing a wedding dress. Some netizens believe it looks like Celeste. Some netizens say it looks nothing like Celeste. Others say the vibe is like Celeste. It's just everyone's fighting about it. But regardless, people can kind of agree it does appear, according to all of his music videos, he seems to have a type. He finds the girl, and now she's laying on a bloodied mattress, still in the wedding dress, but she's dead, and there's blood everywhere, and white roses are covered in blood. The lyrics are, "In the back of my mind, you died, and I didn't even cry. No, not a single tear, and I'm sick of patiently waiting for someone that won't even arrive." And that's like just repeated. In the back of my mind, you died. And now there are AI versions out there that now say, in the back of my car, you died, which is inappropriate to say the least, but in the back of my mind, you died and I didn't even cry. And then at the very end, the lyrics switch to, in the back of my mind, I killed you and I didn't even regret it. David drops the briefcase that he was holding, or suitcase, and it's filled with bloodied knives, bloodied roses. And the lyrics that are playing is, I can't even believe I said it, but it's true. I hate you. This has been a big part of the conversation online, to the point where this song is at least 3 years old. It's September 23rd of this year. It had its biggest streaming day of all time on Spotify.
Wait, September when?
23rd. So after Celeste had been identified.
Oh, just like people started listening to it more and more and more, and then
the song is back on charting to Billboard 200. I will say, if I just would not use the song. I mean, people have been posting TikToks to talk about how shocked and sad they are at the news, but they're using his music. So it just doesn't seem like a great choice to be making right now. Some people just genuinely have it stuck in their head because so many people are using it on TikTok. I mean, there was this now viral moment where Kai Cenat is like having his mafia-thon. And I think like someone was accidentally like singing, or like, I don't know if they were scrolling through TikTok, but he starts singing 2 words of it and then he stops himself and he looks very stressed out. Obviously, it was unintentional, but I think that's just to tell you this song was very famous.
Yeah, this is really interesting.
A big song. Now, there's one fan of David's who analyzed the lyrics prior to all of this happening, and he says, David constantly feels like he's the only one in a relationship. He's constantly telling his love interest that he feels unimportant and unappreciated in the relationship. One of the biggest downfalls in a relationship, if not the biggest downfall. You spend all this time dealing with people, whether it be your boyfriend, girlfriend, best friend, husband, wife, or close friend, or someone else, just to be treated like you don't even exist. It got to the point where he hated her so much that he wanted to kill her. Which is a bit crazy if we're going to be real, but also kind of real if we're going to be honest. This analyzation comes before all of the recent news, so it's very interesting that this is how people have been taking the song prior to even. The hosts for Mahogany, a podcast, they interviewed David. This was uploaded May 9th, 2025, a few months before Celeste is found dead. He plays Romantic Homicide, the music video for David, and David says, that was a fire song. That's actually crazy. This is the first time I watched the music video all the way through in maybe a year and a half. That's nuts. He said the instrumental for Romantic Homicide just stuck with him. I sat down and I freestyled the entirety of Romantic Homicide in one take. And after I made that song, I showed it to my mother and she was like, the song's too violent and too sad. You're not releasing it. You're not talking about killing people in your music. Not my son. And I was like, wait, I might be onto something. Netizens think that comment is now ironic because the whole internet believes that he killed someone not just in music, but in reality. But regardless, his mom is not approving, but it just makes him want to release it more. He says, whenever my mom hates something, I know it's cool. It's usually a sign that I'm supposed to do it low key. So I waited a couple of days. I was kind of contemplating, because if she ever found the song online and it did not blow up, I'm getting my butt beat the same day. So I had to make sure that it was going to do well. David says for the music video, the blindfolded guy in the suit, aka him in a blindfold, and then sometimes him in a bloody dress shirt, is not him, it's his alter ego named Itami. He says, I had the idea to make the first music video introduce a character that I had been kind of ideating for a really long time. That's why you see him with the blindfold and the bloody shirt aesthetic and bow tie. I'm really big into anime. I'm really big into manga. And I wanted to make my own manga series at one point. I was writing a lot of poems and writing a lot of things for it. And a big part of that manga was an evil version of me named Itami, which means pain in Japanese. And he wears this blindfold. He's basically an agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego. And the story of the manga went, I was a detective and there was an evil version of myself that would come out at random times, kind of like Fight Club, Tyler Durden.
He would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as the detective. So like when I was as a detective, I'd be like solving murders that I'm committing myself.
And it was like a cool little story. I didn't think anything would come of it. It was in the vault for months and months and months, and I introduced it for the first time on screen. I had the opportunity with music to kind of explore this idea further. And the romantic homicide music video, and people were asking so many questions. I was like, yo, this is kind of fire. Nobody would have ever heard of it if it wasn't for the music video. But at the time, Itami was a staple of this music video, and you kind of see him throughout the entire thing. He's holding the knife, with the bloody thing. You got the girl that's basically the ghost of the person that he killed. It was his first victim in the manga, and I put it all on screen. He says he's basically the evil version of me, and he's kind of garnered this cult that follows him. He says, Itami has cult... Okay, so this is so complicated. The way that he describes it is the invisible string theory, all of chaos and evil. You know how one person is connected to everyone with red strings? Like everyone you meet in your life, you're connected to them with a red string. He's saying everything evil and chaos, all is connected to Itami. And so he has all these members of his cult that just are agents of chaos.
Okay.
And he says that's like one big element of his music. Another one is the Bloody Rose aesthetic. He says that was birthed in the romantic homicide music video as well, which is beautiful. The idea that beautiful things can hurt you with the stems, having thorns on them. That became my entire aesthetic for the rest of time. I kind of still, even to this day, use that Bloody Rose to kind of show how beautiful things can hurt you, even through music. You see fans pulling up to the shows in the bloody shirts and blindfolds, so it's becoming a little movement. And I'm glad it's kind of coming to fruition. As for the alter ego, David says, Itami is the one that is making me withered and feel these emotions like grief and pain and confusion. He's the one that is weaving his way into my relationships and ruining them and introducing trauma and things like that. You see him in the music videos and stuff, so he's basically the agent of chaos. The Genius video, where he breaks down the lyrics of the song, has also since gone viral. In the back of my mind, you died. I didn't even cry. No, not a single tear. And I'm sick of patiently waiting for someone that won't even arrive. David explains, it's kind of like the storytelling aspect of the lyrics. It builds up to this big moment where she died in the back of my mind.
I didn't kill her physically, but in the back of my mind, she died.
And I didn't even cry. To which people are now commenting he's way too defensive, that it was not physically, but in the back of his mind. Others are saying that this is life imitating art. Quote, it's honestly scary how his entire career feels like one big confession. Another person writes, it's crazy how when you listen to his songs, you notice bits and pieces that you actually thought were poetic, but were actually straight up confessions. Another person writes, this legitimately has to be one of the most insane hiding in plain sight moments in music industry history. And one of the top comments is actually just all caps reading, this was not just in the back of his mind. Just to disclaim once more, it's not technically a confession because, well, we don't even know if he did it, but also the song was written, produced, and released 3 years before Celeste was found deceased, and music is not, at least right now, does not have strong evidentiary value in the court of law, at least right now. It's hard to use the word confession. I think a lot of people say maybe a premonition, maybe a bad omen. Those are maybe more appropriate words. Some people think that everything is reaching. Others say that his ominous explanations of his music videos are not helping to the creepiness of his music videos. Others are also saying, yes, the art can be dark, but why does David also have to be so dark about it? They point to Lil Tecca, who has been going viral recently for rapping about driving in Ferraris and Mercedes, but he admits in his Genius interview that he didn't even know how to drive at that point in his life.
So I hopped in the Benz. I don't even drive. I don't even know how to drive.
So people are saying that could have been David, but instead, the way that he explains everything just feels more eerie. David says, I've seen people online take different meanings and interpretations from that one part of the song where it's like,
It's their past selves that's dying, and they're not even crying about it because they're evolved.
they become better people for having killed their addictions or other different stuff like that. So I think it's very powerful in that way. So he's saying it's open to interpretation. But there are lots of symbolism in his music that have people running to every single thing that he's ever created to see if there are any more additional clues, likely due to the fact that people have very strong ties with him and his music, and there are no updates right now. So people want to see something. But back to the birthdays. Exactly 2 years before Celeste's body is found in David's trunk, he reposts a TikTok. The first slide is Mario, the game character, crying on the stairs.
First lie?
Slide.
Okay.
And it says, on September 8th, bro, why are you crying? You swipe. The next slide is 3 hands holding roses and rose petals. On their wrists and arms, there's just thorns protruding out. Lost petals, September 8th. This is 2 years to the date of when Celeste's body is found, and 1 day after her birthday that year. The songs coming out will be Notes from a Wrist, Hollow Prayers, Rehab, Poetic Vulgarity, and Once More. Again, many netizens feel the two knew each other by this point. Based off all of the rumors, the screenshots from Discord, David allegedly has a fascination with the month of September. In another TikTok that David reposts, it's just a slideshow of emotional quotes. But the very last one reads, I thought I wouldn't have the courage to hope again, but September came around with sweetness in its air, and you came around with tender hands and soft eyes. So because of this album dropping near her birthday, 2 years to the date that she's found deceased, people are looking through this whole album trying to see if there's any clues, any messages in the songs, and I'm just gonna rapid fire go through them. I'm not stating that there's anything of evidentiary value in this, but rather, this is the conversation online. I've just compiled it for easy viewing. Notes from a Wrist. Netizens believe that this song, David sings more from Celeste's perspective. This is psychoanalyzing in hindsight. This is, again, not me saying that David thought that, but the lyrics include, run away from home again. Alone with my soul impaled, run away from your loving arms, why am I so afraid? Other notable lyrics include, washing my hands with this bloody water, I miss the way I thought it was, you and me against the world, and now the whole world is just against me. People are saying washing hands with bloody water. TMZ reported that they were checking the sink drains for blood. They're saying you and me against the world and now the whole world is just against me. It just seems like a lot of people are saying every lyric feels like it's happening in real time. On the top comments, it now reads, he literally describes everything from the time that he posted on her birthday. Everything was right in front of us. I can't believe it comes down to this. He was telling her story little by little. In the music video, you see yet another love interest who people say is a beautiful girl with very curly hair. Some people say it's similar to Celeste. Some people say not every girl with curly hair is Celeste. It's been another debate. And you do see Itami, bloody shirt, white blindfold. And the music video theme is David having flashbacks to visions of this lost love. And he spends time in this empty house by himself just thinking about what could have been. Then there's Hollow Prayers. Not as often talked about, but notable lyrics include lost again, trying to find myself, searching through both heaven and hell, I can't let go, oh it's all my fault, can you take me and replace me with someone else? I can't even walk anymore, and my eyes are sore from all the tears I cried, please don't let me die. Some people believe it sounds again more like it's from Celeste's perspective. Not that he wrote it in Celeste's perspective, but more so the conversation is, it's weird that everything feels so intertwined. The song has been described as an emotional expression of David's needs for divine intervention and guidance. He did a whole interview. The song Rehab is one of the more now controversial releases on this EP. The official music video aired September 8th, 2023. So again, exactly 2 years.
Wait, another September?
Well,
this is all September 8th. Got it.
But this is the music video. So all the other ones, because they don't drop all music videos the same day. They'll drop like the lyric videos. But this music video has been heavily analyzed because it was also dropped on her birthday, or the day after her birthday. It's an anime style music video, and it shows David and his alter ego. And you know it's Itami. It's David wearing a bloody dress shirt and a white blindfold. It's got this animated Itami and animated David. They're fighting. It it looks like they're at odds with each other. It's giving Jekyll and Hyde. But in the music video, Tommy gets with a very pretty girl, goes on a date with her, gets drunk, and then cuts off her arm and stabs her in the torso, killing her. While he sings, I'm at the party with hella regrets. I feel like getting in trouble again. Kickstart repertoire with a shovel again. She fell in love with the devil again. I gotta get her out of here. I don't feel this way anymore for the girl that I used to know. She thinks she's too good for me now. No room in class for a clown. Broken hearts and bloody sandals, bodies stacked on top of another. I've been hearing gunshots inside my clouded thoughts. You can't run or hide from me now. One analysis from years ago reads, the angry parts of David shine through as he reflects on a toxic relationship and seeks escapism through a lifestyle that is just as self-destructive. But it's just another girl being dismembered and or killed by his alter ego. To which the comment reads, it's sick how he basically became obsessed and dehumanized her in order to turn her into what we think looks like a muse and write an entire act through multiple songs that would culminate ultimately in a death. That's just one netizen's perspective. Another comment reads, this is sick. Every single song, even his tour, it's almost as if his whole career has been built around his obsession with murdering this poor girl. The analyzation of these songs have netizens believing that David just had an inherent obsession with Celeste by this point. Some even accuse him of having a fantasy of wanting to kill her. The next song is Poetic Vulgarity, which has been analyzed heavily due to one specific line in there that reads, the right love, but in the wrong time frame. Which netizens believe in hindsight, it's almost like him romanticizing an inappropriate relationship. There's also a strange menace in his lyrics. The song expresses that his love interest didn't tell him that she's leaving him. So naturally, he calls her a, quote, heartless woman, time-consuming, headache-inducing whore. That's all you are, that's all you ever were. He does say, sorry for bruising you up with my words, but you did the same. Others are pointing out that there's a lyric that reads, heart too small, you had to push me out. And they comment small, as in like a kid's heart. Others comment, imagine calling a 13-year-old a whore. Or others are pointing out the lyrics, and biting your flesh, how does it taste? I still remember the kisses you gave to a broken boy, drown out the noise. People think it's sick that he's trying to call himself a boy. Also, the biting of the flesh, how does it taste? There is a TikTok repost that has been making its rounds online. It's a screenshot. A repost is David did not post it himself, but he saw it on his feed and then he reposted it. So it's not like he created this message, but it's a screenshot of a text message where one person writes, imagine we were two cannibals in the late 80s who randomly met and then we fell in love and tried to be better and start a life together. Then you died and I ate your bones and all. The other party responds, ... what the fuck is wrong with you? The comment on that one now is, David's lawyer is going to be struggling. Or, she wasn't found complete, which again has been the alternating theories right now. And then another comment, yeah, he did it, bruh. Another comment reads, help, I stalked too far, now I feel like a witness. Which you could argue, perhaps maybe it was an accidental repost. But then in another interview, he is asked, if you could describe yourself as pizza, what would you be?
Ooh, pineapple. I was wondering like why every time I eat pineapple, my cheeks will burn. It's because pineapple has a chemical that eats away at your flesh while you eat it. So I describe myself as a pineapple because I eat away at your flesh.
I get it. I think artists are naturally maybe stranger than the general population, or they try to be. They put an effort to be edgy. Maybe that's just what it takes. But at this point, there's just a lot of weird coincidences. There's just too many connections. Not saying he's connected to the death, but there's a lot. The top comment now reads, bro, this will be evidence in the courts, which is debatable. But the next song is Once More. This is the last song on this EP. The melody is soft, sweet, even retrospective. But again, it is all about heartbreak. Lyrics read, I love you, 3 words I don't say anymore. Picking my mind up off the floor. Will I put it back in my skull? No, not ever, because you said we were forever. That's some fable. I can't move on. The top comment now reads, so he killed her for trying to move on from him? She was finally outgrowing him and he couldn't deal with it? This all comes out the day after her birthday. Coincidence or not, it's up to you, but adding more to the birthday coincidences. David's last Instagram post is from September 7th, 2025. 1 day before her body is found, on her, what was supposed to be her 15th birthday. The post is him promoting his Withered Deluxe album, which was scheduled to be out September 19th, which is 2 days after her body is identified. It has since been pulled. The deluxe album is not out. The original Withered album is out. But he writes in the caption, "Every song written exclusively by me on my phone, baby. This is a passion project I put together to make sure I didn't lose the raw emotional weight my music carries and how much it means to you all. Thank you to all my friends who collaborated with me on this. Everyone ate their verses up. Heart, heart, heart." So are people reading too much into it or not? I feel like that's something only time will tell. If David is found guilty, then everyone will agree, no, we were not reading too much into it. We, as in collective internet. If he's not arrested, if there is evidence that comes out that shows that he's not connected, which at this point in time, it seems like it would have to be the most insane explanation. It would have to be like the most even crazier than what's already happening. And what's already happening is already so bizarre that I don't know if my mind can even comprehend what possibly could be the explanation. But if that were the case, then yes, people are going to think that, oh my gosh, the internet overreacts. They were reading way too much into it. They need to go touch some grass. So it's just only time will tell. But to give you some full context, in an interview, David says his mom was confused how he's coming up with all these lyrics because he's dropping a song a week at one point. She's asking him, "You're homeschooled. What do you know about love? What do you know about heartbreak?" David says, "I would go on Discord, I would go on Fortnite, and I would go to the squad fields. It's where you can just talk to people. And I would just let people talk to me and just tell me about their lives. I was just an open door and an open outlet for my peers and my friends to just vent to me about different things in their personal lives and stuff like that. And I would basically just take their lives, write songs about them, and write songs for them. And they didn't even know it. It was just the most beautiful thing. It's so poetic to be able to
kind of take somebody's life and put that in a song and then to have millions of people resonate with things that aren't even about me.
So maybe we are reading too much into it. Maybe none of this has anything to do with Celeste. However, Discord is where everything is coming out. Screenshots of the past, conversations with someone who could be Celeste. There is so much happening on Discord, and even David has spoken extensively about Discord. So he talks about Discord like he's on there every day. He would tell Zach saying, like, I was streaming, I'd be like, let me get on Discord. Let me invite 100 people on Discord and get on a video call and let's all listen to my album together. He says sometimes, like, I guess the most important part is that my Discord likes it.
My Discord is my core fan base. You know, if someone's not vibing with someone in Discord, I'll be like, I sneak it in the Discord and leak it myself.
He says, that's why I use Discord so much. That's why I'm on Instagram and TikTok so much, because the people that are listening to my music are the ones that are going to stick with me, are the ones that I want to hear feedback from. Recently, the moderator for David's Discord posted a message. We, the Discord and Twitch staff team, want to clarify what we know. Also, a lot of older people have taken this to mean that Discord and Twitch,
the company,
have made statements. These are like these are mods, okay? They're just like normal people that can moderate a subreddit or can moderate a Discord. They're not affiliated with the actual company.
This is after everything that's happened. Okay.
Yes. We, the Discord and Twitch staff team, want to clarify what we know and didn't know regarding Celeste. We were not aware of her true age or that she was a missing person. We also did not have any contact with her outside of what was public. From what was shared in David's Twitch streams and from her role in the server, we understood her to be around 18 to 19. She appeared in 2 streams, but was otherwise not active in the server, and we did not have ongoing communication with her. Most of us are not located in California, so we are not aware of any missing persons reports connected to her. The mention of her full name within the server was not seen in real time due to how fast the chat moves when David pings everyone. We no longer associate with David. We do not support his actions in any capacity. We are deeply saddened by the situation and extend our prayers to Celeste's family. May she rest in peace and may her family receive justice. This comes after Discord moderators are seen trying to purge the server of messages and pictures.
What?
Yeah, there was a whole thing where they're just purging messages, deleting. But I will say, in the United States, Discord does frequently cooperate with the authorities to turn over relevant data. It's definitely easier to get information in the US from Discord.
Okay, so they said Celeste appeared in 2 streams?
Oh yeah, we're going to be talking about that in a second.
Oh.
But there's a lot happening on the Discord, along with people alleging that from 2023, there are screenshots of the Discord chats. And they comment in 2023 that David only adds underage girls. The users are agreeing on Discord. They say, I know, right? Or commenting, I'm not joking either. Some say they're usually like 15 or 16 too. Another says, what the fuck? David's a pedo? This is from March of 2023. So this is a year before Celeste is even reported missing. There's another message of an underage girl allegedly talking to David, and he allegedly texts her, Hola. Okay, so I've been up all night thinking logically about you, work, life, relationships, and realized something that you'd agree with if you see it the way I do.
Who's talking right now?
David.
Okay.
Allegedly. Straight from my heart, I really, 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 really love you, but I have been checking my schedule for the rest of this year and next year, and I'm barely in Texas. I believe long distance relationships work under the right conditions, like you being able to travel with me, etc., but you're still in school. With that being said, I don't like hiding anything from anyone. I would love to have a public relationship with someone, but the way this is going, it's just we would have to be secret or something. I want you to be happy, but you still have so much left to do in these last 2 years of high school, and it may change your view on this entirely. And I would gladly wait for you if we were both in the right headspace when that time comes. I still want to be there for you, though, and talk like we did before it got complicated, LMAO. I love and care about you and need to make sure you're not alone. We are still interlinked.
Wait, who is this? What is
this? This is another person coming out saying that these are text messages that David had sent her and she is underage.
These are text messages?
Yes.
And she came out with this and that's it?
Yes.
Okay.
Then another message. Please express yourself thoroughly. Please no okay or KK. I want to know everything going through your head. Which, if this is true, it's really bad. Other girls have come out on Reddit to post screenshots of DMs on Instagram that they've received from David, allegedly. With one writing, he followed me in 2023 when I was well under the age of 18, and these are our texts. I also remember one of his friends saying in a group chat that I was in, saying all David follows are teen girls, something along the lines of that, so there must be other victims. The DMs she posts are flirtatious.
Wait, 2020, when? 2022?
2023.
2023, so 2 years ago.
Yes.
So David was 18.
Yes. But she's saying
Right.
she was well under the age of 18.
Okay.
So, I mean, if the rumors are true, he might have allegedly started talking to Celeste when she was 11. So it's not like he just turned 18 and she is about to turn 18 in 3 months. She said she's well under the age of 18. Not like 17 turning 18 in a month. Type of situation. The DMs she posts are flirtatious. David's responding to her story saying, LMAO, I swear you're shorter than me. And she responds, nah, you're mad because I guessed your real height. No, you didn't. Let me find out. You're like a... And then she responds, what you be wearing these days? It's giving Lil Uzi Vert. He says, stop. And he gets very excited when she tells him that she's going to see him perform and it's a must for her to attend his concert because he's literally on her phone case, which people comment the way he texts. So I don't know. I'm inclined to believe, because I like to just believe when people are speaking out about someone, especially when they're in a position of power, especially when the people speaking out are allegedly children. It's vastly different text messages. Obviously, one of them is a much more serious message. So it makes sense that they have different cadences and different tones, but it's not so different where it doesn't seem like the same person. However, one thing to know about these DMs that I find very scary if they're real is the way he texts is like an underage girl. People believe this is his way of disarming children. He doesn't text like a love interest. He doesn't text like someone maybe older. He texts like an underage girl, like a fellow girlfriend. I don't know how to describe, like the stop. Like, let me find out. It just feels very girl to girl almost. I don't know. People were pointing it out that it's very interesting. Then there are just other questionable Discord chats that are being released. Screenshots of what appears to be David's account on Discord writing in the chat, gore over porn. I used to be addicted to watching gore videos. I love gore. But one of the more heavily talked about messages from Discord is August 15th, 2024. 4 months after Celeste is reported missing, 14 months before her body is found. Someone on the server writes, "Drop the song with the missing girl Celeste Rivas Hernandez," which is apparently a demo that has leaked in December of 2023. So this is not a recent posting of a song. If that were the case, a lot of people would think that it's AI generated. But this is 4 months before Celeste is reported missing. The lyrics read, "So this is what it's like to not need weed to get me high. I love it when you hold me when you cry. Just because, be my Valentine. I want to make Cupid suicidal. These are the kind of thoughts that cross my mind. Just because, I love you so much, I love you so much. Darling, I would love to ease your mind, but you only open up when you get high. If I had the money, I would buy us time just to get by, just to stay high. Oh, Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest. Smell her on my clothes like cigarettes. I hear her voice each time I take a breath. I'm obsessed. Oh, Celeste. Afraid you'll only love me when I'm undressed. But you look so damn gorgeous in that dress. Missing you so much, it makes me depressed, but I digress. I love you so much." Netizens are confused.
He says Celeste has a tattoo of his name
On her chest. Speaking of unreleased songs, there is a video of David. It seems like he's playing a song for his Discord, which this seems to be one of the more verified unreleased songs. It seems like it was scrapped from his newest album. But in the beginning, you hear a girl's voice, almost like a voicemail, and she's saying,
"You were one of my best friends, and there's a lot of alcohol in my system right now, so you could just ignore all of this message because I miss you so much."
Notable lyrics from that song include, "Nobody ever caught me, but I've spoken too soon. In the back of a police car. I forget whatever I knew. I ain't telling nothing. Do the same if they ask you about how you make me feel. I get so high, I forget what's real. Baby said she forgot me. Huh, do I need to come remind you? I try to give you all my sense. I even started drinking less, but I'm still so messed up in my head. Maybe I should try to settle for less. Maybe I should ask my mother for what's best. I don't even like it when you get undressed. Even when we're home alone, we don't ever have sex. I'm talking about how you make me feel. I get so high I forget what's real. I'm sorry, this is bullshit how you make me feel." I mean, are these just songs or do they all have a deeper meaning? I guess it really depends. Even David switches up his answers. In some interviews, he said, some artists are very particular about the way they make music, and if it didn't happen to them, then it's not a song.
Music is such a universally understood language. Like, you could write about anything and somebody will understand it. Somebody will connect to it. The first couple songs I wrote were even about me,
He says in an interview in 2023, if I'm watching someone or even I'll see somebody else, I'll see somebody walking down the street at a parking meter and I will plan out the rest of his entire life. And I become that guy for a day and I write a song about him. I try to get every perspective I can, every possible perspective, every possible viewpoint. In a TikTok, he straight up writes, "Me writing love songs without ever literally experiencing love, tongue emoji, silly face emoji, goofy emoji." But then he also says,
because I'm writing at this point about myself and my emotions and my vulnerability. And I wasn't doing that a lot last, couple projects because I was homeschooled. Yeah, I didn't have nothing to talk about like that. And people were asking me, how'd you write all these beautiful songs when you have no relationship? I was like, man, I'm a prophet, bro. I just spoke it into my own life. It was a prophetic thing that I was speaking about heartbreak and love and all these things I had never experienced before. But then I actually experienced them. And it's like, yo, I really said this about myself 2 years ago.
Which is what people also are saying is kind of creepy. They were going through his songs and they were saying, what's happening now? It seems like he was planning it, fantasizing about it, speaking it into existence, predicting it. Zach Sang asks him in an interview, but is it what you really expected? Heartbreak, love?
It's weird because I have such a weird view and take on situations like that because I'm always looking for writing material in these types of things. So instead of taking it to the chin, being like, oh my God, I'm heartbroken, I go straight to my phone or BandLab, go straight to the studio and write about it. I never actually fully process situations like that because I'm always expecting it to happen. And then as soon as it happens, I'm writing about it.
When you say expecting it, meaning you get into a friendship, expecting it to end in a devastating, tragic, sad way so it can inspire art, are you almost manifesting it to a certain degree?
Hope I'm not. I really hope I'm not because it feels that way. I look back to old songs like Life's a Dream and all these songs I wrote in my sister's closet in 2022, and I'm looking at my life in the past 8 to 9 months, and I'm like, whoa. Like, bro, these songs are soundtracking my life.
And when was this interview?
This one was recent. This year.
The 8 to 9 month is like the pretty recent.
Yes.
Wow.
Seems like he's referencing early 2025 and 2024.
And the songs were the ones that you were talking about at the beginning, like
Romantic Homicide, Here With Me.
all those sounds.
Yes. In another interview, he says,
I feel like the songs I made in 2022 and right now are being made in advance. And it's so crazy to be able to like listen to the EP and have things connect to me now that didn't connect to me when I made them. Like I made them in advance and I made them for my future self, like a diary almost. And every time I listen to my songs, I'm like rereading this diary and seeing, I'm getting advice from my past self. It's kind of like a weird experience.
there's a video of David also performing on stage in a bloody dress shirt. I believe this is like an unreleased song that he is performing. First performed June 29th, 2023. The lyrics could mean everything, they could mean nothing, but netizens find it interesting. It's, I don't care about the law when I'm with you, cause I be breaking it all the time. I need you to know that life get crazy, so won't you let me slow it down? Yes, no, or maybe. I take it as a yes because you're still around. Ain't that a felony? Dark hair, brown skin, love that melody. Baby, if you look up for love, I think they're selling it on the corner of the street. That's a felony.
Wow, that's wild.
Then a new screenshot starts making its rounds from February 26, 2024, 2 months before Celeste is reported missing. On a TikTok that David posts, a user by the name of Robin comments, waiting for LAPD to get your ass for messing with a 13-year-old girl. Thumbs up emoji, cat shock emoji, cop car emoji.
This is like at the time?
Yes.
This is on Instagram?
This is on TikTok. In his comment section. This is like 2 months before Celeste is reported missing.
What? So there are people already know stuff.
Yes,
and where are these people now? They're not speaking out, right?
Not publicly.
What?
We don't know if they are. I mean, I think.
Wow, and people couldn't find who this person is who commented it?
There was another person people found, and I'm going to be talking about it later, but he felt like he heard a rumor, he repeated it, and then everyone was explaining to him it's not true, and then he felt like he was trying to ruin someone's career. He honestly felt bad about it.
What?
Because he was like, oh, it was like I was wrong. Turns out he doesn't believe he's wrong anymore, along with the rest of the world. But it's just
wow, okay.
I don't think that people had concrete evidence, and the ones that did, I don't think anyone was willing to listen to them. February 2024, Celeste would have been 13 years old. So the timeline is kind of making sense. But the more damning piece of evidence that has been circulating is a live stream of David and who appears to be Celeste. This is apparently from January 2024, 3 months before she's reported missing. It's a live stream of David and a girl sitting in a kitchen. The girl looks young. She's wearing giant oversized eyeglasses. She has curly hair. She has a hood covering most of her face. He's reading the chat out loud. Pray for his career, chat. He looks at the girl next to him and asks, are we done? Are we done? And she responds, we need to delete this. David calmly says, mods, can we delete all the VODs? And as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too. Can we delete everything?
What?
We need to delete this.
Mods, can we delete all VODs? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too?
The girl who looks to be Celeste is rumored to be Celeste, is giggling a little bit, but it looks more like an uncomfortable giggle. But someone in the comments writes, nah, you going on Epstein list. David is dramatically saying, yo, wait. And then the girl tells him to read a separate comment because it would be mean if he doesn't answer. It's like a fan comment. It's a nice comment. And then another segment of the video, he puts his hand on the girl's shoulder and said,
I media trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
I'm lost. What is happening? So he's live streaming with a hooded girl that he'd never introduced who this is.
We only have random snippets of this live stream. We haven't been able to find the full live stream.
So no context. Nobody knows what's going on here.
Yeah, it's just, we know there's, you're going on Epstein's list comment. We know that she says, is it controversial of raping kids? Because he says, I media trained you. That's controversial. No, you didn't. It's controversial of raping kids.
So she's basically calling him out saying, no, you are controversial for kids.
Basically, that's what the internet is insinuating and gathering from this live stream. She starts covering her mouth and laughing, and both of them decide they're going to get off the stream. And David ends with, delete everything, everything goes.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my! Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes.
And the stream ends, which feels like evidence enough that something bad is happening. And there are other sightings of what appears to be David and Celeste together, like one where he's seen with a girl wearing a Gap hoodie. Celeste's missing child poster is her wearing a Gap hoodie, the same Gap hoodie. Then video snippets of David bringing a girl to other streamers' houses, and she introduced herself as Celeste.
Hi, how are you? Celeste. I've been chilling, just vibing.
She's like shaking Jason DeWeen's hand, and she's like, I'm Celeste, right? Hold on, okay? There are other videos of her being pulled in backstage at a concert wearing pink leggings. So now people are like, why haven't the authorities arrested him yet? Well, for one, this makes things much trickier because now there are two Celestes. In David's life, there are two girls named Celeste. One of them was found dead in his trunk. The other one is very much alive, and she is not a minor. She's an adult. She's around the same, I think a year or two older than him. And she has even changed her Instagram bio to a different Celeste.
That's it, a different Celeste, literally quote.
She has not made any public statements. She has not come out to say David is innocent. He doesn't know the other Celeste. It's me all along. I'm the Celeste that he's been dating since 2021 or 2022 or whenever. But there are two Celestes.
And they were dating?
That's what it seems like, or at least they're together a lot. There's lots of theories about these two Celestes. And so every single piece of media, every single picture, every single video, it's the comment section are just netizens fighting of which Celeste it is because it's so hard to tell. I will say with this live stream where she says, is it controversial raping kids? It feels like it's the deceased, the victim Celeste. Just because I saw someone analyzing her dimples, which are very specific to her. So it seemed like it might be the younger Celeste, but it doesn't really matter if it's 14-year-old victim Celeste or the other Celeste. Some people call her decoy Celeste. Some people call her the other Celeste. Some people call her the second Celeste. Either way, it's just a weird situation. Even if it's either of them, it's bad.
It's the fact that she said, right?
Yes.
Is it controversial to kids?
So it's either, hey, allegedly, this is what people are gathering. It's either, hey, you did this to me. Is that controversial? Or it's, hey, you did this to kids. Is that controversial? Which either way, it's a very weird live stream that is very suspicious. So now there are pretty much confirmed two Celeste who, by most netizen opinion, they look similar. And what's even weirder is that there have been, and I'm going to break this down later, there have been, it's not confirmed, but I will say general consensus, general opinion. There's okay, some pictures, generally, people think it's the victim Celeste. Some pictures and videos, people are kind of all in agreement that it's the other Celeste. So there's everyone's sorting these media files of screenshots and pictures and videos into which Celeste is it? Which one, right? But this is where it gets confusing. Both of them wear the same things, and people find that very weird. For example, the other Celeste has been allegedly pictured wearing the same exact Gap hoodie. I don't know if it's the same one as in one of one, but it's the same color, same look.
Wow. So I can see the conspiracy behind that.
Yes. Okay. Because also another thing, right? The Celeste, it's just so tricky. The other Celeste is allegedly the one that David would bring to events with him. And she would introduce herself as Celeste because that's her name. And remember how I mentioned she would go to live streamers' houses? Jason DeWeen is a name that has been popping up. He's like a live streamer, and he had to clarify later that the Celeste that he met at the FaZe Clan house was not the one that was found in his trunk. It was this Celeste, who is of age.
The girl that I met named Celeste at the Faze house is not the same Celeste that was killed.
And it seems like this Celeste has actually met a lot of people and has been out publicly with David. And so even the Discord mods, they were saying we were all under the impression that she was 18 or 19. So now people are like, wait, are they talking about the other Celeste? Or are they saying that they thought younger Celeste was older? Because the police have confirmed that the younger Celeste did have multiple fake IDs, which she would use to get into establishments that were 18 and up. So there are anecdotes online that are saying, I think that I met the younger Celeste, but I don't know because we were in a place where you had to be 18 and up to get in. So I assume she was not, but I don't know.
Yeah, I see.
So it's just very confusing, and they look similar from afar. And it almost seems like they dress similarly, whether it's on purpose or not. Wow. And it does seem like the other Celeste is more publicly out and about with David, whereas the deceased, the victim, it does feel like if they are connected, he's just hiding her. And that's why there's this one video of a girl that looks like Celeste wearing pink leggings, and she's being rushed to backstage of his concert. And she's got a hood over her head. A lot of people are in agreement that that is the victim Celeste, because she seems like she's hiding. She seems like she's not trying to be seen. Yeah. Whereas the other Celeste, she's at a live streaming house, the FaZe Clan house, and she's like shaking live streamers' hands, being like, Celeste, I'm Celeste, I'm Celeste.
Right. So this is online public information that David is dating Celeste or is close with this woman named Celeste. And this other Celeste is literally in every streamer's live stream. People are seeing her?
Yes, there are clips of her in streamers' live streams.
I see.
And her name is also Celeste Herrera.
Which those streams are reaching like, I don't even know, like the whole world. Versus at the concert, arguably it's more private because you get like a few thousand people versus streams, you get like the whole world.
And so people are saying in the Discord chat where people are saying, oh, he has a girlfriend, her name is Celeste, she's very pretty. People don't know who that's in reference to. But then there are the ones on Discord that's like, drop the song about the missing girl, Celeste, that drops her full name and says, drop the song about her. Then it's like, okay, wait, so now it's getting tricky to discern which one. On top of that comment that was like, LAPD is going to get your ass for dating a 13-year-old girl. It seems like the whole world did not know he was dating. A group of people close to him or had business relations or had collaborations with him, knew him on like a maybe creator to creator or musician to musician level, maybe have come across Celeste that is of age. And then it seems like a very small group of people, if true, if they were dating, knew about Celeste, who was found deceased.
Yeah.
So it just makes it very tricky. And there is a question of, again, what are the odds that he's connected to two Celeste that look similar, that both wear Gap hoodies, that both like to wear specific glasses and dress specifically, or is this intentional?
Is there any other, not girlfriend or any other woman or any...
that looks similar?
Or just anyone else he's allegedly dated in this period? Is there other girlfriends or...
There is one friend who was spotted out with him publicly frequently, and she had to make a statement saying that she doesn't want to talk. She'll talk when she is ready, and there's just a lot going on. But people point out that she also has very curly hair and looks like Celeste. So it's just like netizens are confused. So there are conspiracies. There are theories online that he started dating another girl named Celeste that is of age, that looks like the victim, the child Celeste, but is an adult. And so when people say, hey, you dated a minor named Celeste, he can say, no, you're mistaken. She's not a minor. She's an adult. You can check it out. You can see her ID. Her name is Celeste, and she's an adult. So those pictures are of my adult girlfriend that you just assumed was a minor. Some people think that's what was happening. That's the speculation online. And maybe it is working because the internet cannot seem to agree on multiple different videos and pictures of David and Celeste, whether or not this is the Celeste or the other Celeste. Some netizens are even wondering if maybe he's innocent because of all of this. They're saying, what if it's a setup? What if he's getting framed? What if he's only ever dated older Celeste? And all of this has been to publicly take him down and frame him for murder, which I would say would be an insane theory if true. Like, I don't even know. I feel like the odds of getting stuck in a black hole in outer space would be higher. But again, nothing is impossible. Never say never. I don't know what happened. I'm not personally involved, but it's just, it's a crazy theory. One person sums it up pretty nicely, which is, y'all keep saying it's two Celeste. The minor one was found dead in his car. Like, why are y'all trying to skip over these important details? The other Celeste isn't important right now. Because some people are using the other Celeste to say, oh, he's innocent, he was dating the older Celeste. But it still does not negate the fact that the young Celeste, the child, the 14-year-old girl was found deceased in his trunk.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's where I am going to leave you with this episode for today. I'm going to try and film the rest and get it up in a day or two after you're seeing this. There is so much information, such as the theories that Celeste was going to leave him, tell someone that he was grooming her, theories that Celeste was pregnant, Discord chat logs where David says that they're expecting someone, allegedly, expecting a kid, allegedly, theories that Celeste was sacrificed for fame. Just a lot of theories ranging from wholly unrealistic to plausible, and all the songs and lyrics that have been dissected and analyzed that netizens have used to support or deny those theories, because all of his songs have been analyzed, are going to be in the next video, along with netizens being upset with Celeste's family and why David hasn't been arrested yet. All of that's going to be covered, and I'm going to try to get that up for you ASAP. So with that being said, stay safe, and I will see you in the next one. It is one of the biggest churches in the city of Busan in South Korea. Only nobody really knows it exists. It's in the middle of the woods. You have to be invited in to join the church, but it's also not a cult. This is not a cult story. The church has the capacity to seat 3,500 people, give or take. Sometimes it's 4,000. There are just what feels like an endless row upon row upon row of rock-hard church pews. Every church member is forced to sit on for hours every single Sunday. The pews, the chairs, they're at a firm 90-degree angle, and because attendance is so high, you're arm to arm. In the summer, it feels like you and the person next to you are gonna fuse together in the flesh because the sweat, the moistness, just touching each other for hours at a time. Winter is not as bad, but every single Sunday, the inevitable moment comes, like every Sunday, the red sack people. The Pastor Lim at the podium will ask the red sack members to come up. It looks like a row of red floating balls that just float onto the stage. But they're people. They're wearing red burlap sacks with ugly paint on the front. And the ugly paint reads, "I am a sinner who has gone against God's word." Everyone in the church holds their breath as the pastor approaches the red sack people. His eyes look soft. They look sympathetic. He puts his hands on their heads and they bow down. The pastor closes his eyes. "In the name of Jesus, you are being punished." Then he moves to the next one. "In the name of Jesus, you are being punished." And then the next, one by one, he does this to all of them. "In the name of Jesus, you're being punished. In the name of Jesus, you're being punished." And then he turns around. The pastor does. And when he turns back to face the row of red sack wearing people, he has put on a pair of boxing gloves. And bam, he just starts pummeling them one by one to the ground. None of the thousands of people in this church look away. They're not allowed to. Their eyes are glued to the front. None of them stop the pastor. None of them scream. None of them shout. None of them do anything. Until these red sacks at the front are laying down horizontal on the ground, and now they're oozing red liquid. They're dead.
He punched them to death?
A lot of them get beaten to death. The church members think, well, they're lucky if they're dead, you know? If they're dead, their bodies will be dragged off, probably to be sold. If not, they're gonna repeat this again next week. This is not a cult. This is the Brothers' Home, a government-funded camp to cleanse the humans of South Korea for the Olympics. We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to directly support a survivor of today's episode. This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team, and we'd also like to thank you guys for your continued support as we work on our mission to be worthy advocates. As always, full show notes are available at rottenmangopodcast.com. With that being said, today's case involves mentions of internment, SA, trafficking, and torture. Please take a break if it gets to be too much. This case is on the heavier side. But I also think it's very important. Another thing to note is that this is something that happens all across the world, like I said in the previous episode. And South Korea at the time that this took place was not a democracy. It was run by a dictator. So hopefully massive changes have been made. And additionally, our amazing Korean researchers and translators were actually able to travel to some of the survivors involved in today's case, conduct in-person interviews. They translated the survivor's book, The Surviving Child, written by Han Jung-sun. He's a huge part of the case. I'm going to refer to him as Han. Additionally, this is a 3-part case. If you haven't watched part 1, please go watch that first. I'm going to link it because none of this is going to make sense. In part 1, we go through the torture games that were held at the Brothers Home Welfare Center, how they compare to Squid Games. And in this episode, we're going to go through what they do to the dead bodies, as well as the salt water food torture and what happens when you escape. In part 3, we will go in depth on the wealthy benefactors of this facility. So with that being said, let's get started. In season 2 of Netflix's Squid Games, the main character, Ki-hoon, he just survived Squid Games. In season 1, he walks away with $40-something million. But he more or less, was it worth it? I don't really know. He more or less had to kill his childhood friend that dies in the games to win. And the minute he comes home, he finds out that his mom is dead as well. So for a year, he can't even touch the money that he won. The idea that he would have to use this blood money, it just reminds him of every single person, all 400-something people that died in the Squid Games. It doesn't even make sense. Couldn't he win all of this money without them dying? It's not like they died so that he could get the money. The money was already there. It doesn't connect. A year after his initial win, he finds out the truth. The games are created for rich people's entertainment, and this lights a fire underneath him. The logical thing for him to do is find closure, walk away. But instead, Ki-hoon vows he is going to get revenge on the rich VIPs, and he's not going to stop. He is going to end these stupid games, even if it means losing every single penny that he had just won, and even losing his own life. The National Assembly building in South Korea is this massive stone structure. But the legislators, they show up, so do the administrative staff, personnel, researchers. They show up to work, and outside is usually a row of people, protesters. But this time is different, because a lot of people will protest different things at the National Assembly, but this group, they've been very serious. They've been living here for 3 years, living outside the National Assembly in tents. Sometimes they walk, sometimes they just hold a sign with tears streaming down their face. Sometimes they fast, and people have to beg them to eat because they're becoming emaciated. This time, they're sitting next to each other one by one, and they're all looking stoic. They're not saying anything. Their eyes look like they're about to start crying. Some of them are already crying. There's just tears dropping everywhere, and they're all shaving their heads to get attention.
How many people in that group?
It's like a row of 10 almost. These are the victims of the Brothers Home. They have been protesting for 3-something plus years. It's a long time. And it all started with one man, the man who wrote the book, Han. He tells the legislators, "I am a child who survived hell. It's easy to go from human to beast, but very hard to return from beast to human." Which is why after he escaped Brothers Home, he wanted to kill people. He admits he thought becoming a serial killer was the only way that he could escape Brothers Home. He says, like a psychopath, after I left, I just wanted to kill everyone around me. I felt like it was the only way to get everyone to listen to my story. But then I thought, what about everybody else? Everybody already hates us. We were labeled as vagrants. People saw us as less than human even after we got out of Brothers Home. Why give them more reason to look down on us? So he said, I'll give it one shot. I will go to the National Assembly and I will protest and see what happens. Escaping the Brothers Home compound is nearly impossible. In part 1, we talked about how the walls are 30 feet tall. Even if you somehow manage to Spider-Man climb the structure, they put, in certain parts of the wall, glass shards on top. One attempted escapee, Lee, he says he made it up the wall. He climbed it. And when he reached the top, he had cut up his hands and legs so badly he was caught. He says, I was dripping in blood. I couldn't walk, so I was dragged across the concrete, leaving these blood stains, sent back to the office. I was beaten by the guards. Everybody took turns hitting me. I was beat probably 100 times in that moment. Then he was taken to the church to repent for his sins. He had to put on that red sack. And from there, the pastor would pummel him in front of everyone to show everybody, this is exactly what happens when you try to escape from brother's home.
The pastor, is that the same guy as that head dude in charge, or it's a...
No, different guy.
But he's another top person.
They're a family. In the end of part 1, 12-year-old Jung, do you remember him? His dad is the toilet paper salesman.
Yes.
He's trapped in brother's home for 2 years, and the only thing keeping him alive is the thought that his dad is going to come and save him. Years later, his dad shows up at brother's home, but instead of being there to take him out, rescue him, Jung's dad is standing there wearing a blue tracksuit. It's very interesting because Squid Game, even the actual show, has a lot of interesting components, like the fact that there's so many familial dynamics at play in season 2. I would say these are not really spoilers because season 2 is connected to season 3, so we don't really know what happens even. But if you're adverse to any type of spoiler, please be warned. So for example, in the new round of Squid Games, there's a mother and son duo. The two of them, they meet in the games. Neither knew that the other party was going to show up. They have no idea. They get there, they enter the games, and both of them are there to win the money so that they could pay off the son's gambling debt. Without giving any spoilers, I mean, how is that going to play out? We don't know because, like I said, season 3 is coming. If it's just like the first games, there's only one standing. It can't be both the mother and the son. If there's an unspoken familial bond that would indicate, then it has to be the son, right? Because he's younger. And mothers likely have that innate desire to protect their own children. Or I wonder if it's a question of, are humans just humans at the end of the day? Like when it really comes down to it, survival instincts kick in regardless of who birthed you, and it's about surviving in the end. For example, the recruiter, remember the guy in the suit that works for the games, his whole job is to go around, approach people at subway stations. He knows they have debt. He's the one that scouts the potential candidates for the game, invites them in. He thinks all these recruits are beneath humans. He thinks they're subhumans. He believes genuinely that he is doing the world a favor by getting rid of them. He used to be a pink suit wearing guard inside of Squid Games, and he tells the main character in season 2, clearing and incinerating the bodies of countless people like you. These things aren't human, they're just trash. They have no purpose in this world. That's what I kept telling myself for years. And I worked hard, and one day, the game makers, they gave me a gun. I liked the way it felt. It was like somebody had finally acknowledged my existence. One year, there was a man who lost, and I went over to shoot him, but I recognized his face. Can you guess who it was?
His friend?
My dad.
Oh.
And he still shot him. He killed his own dad.
Why?
That's what happens in the games. Killer be killed. And also, I guess maybe he thinks these humans are so subhuman and he has resentment towards his dad. 12-year-old Jung in brother's home is standing in the middle of the field and he's staring at his dad wearing that blue tracksuit. Jung's dad actually looks worse than Jung. He's lost so much weight, it's like someone just draped a blue tracksuit on top of a thin wire hanger. He can't even fit the smallest size. Jung says he looked terrible, just skin and bones. It's a complicated feeling. Are you happy to see the person that you have been praying to see for years, or do you feel sad and miserable and depressed that they're going to share the same fate as you and that nobody can save either of you? Jung says it's even more complicated because you have this weird shame component. He says, I didn't even want to meet my dad's eyes in there because I thought, wouldn't my father be ashamed to see me right now? It just was such a strange feeling. A few days pass since Jung first sees his dad. Anytime all the prisoners are gathered in the courtyard, he keeps his head down so his dad doesn't see him. And then one day he hears a familiar voice. Jung, are you eating well? It's his dad. His dad is looking around nervously and he's just glancing from side to side. And finally he reaches into his pocket and pushes a package into Jung's hands. It's a rice cake. It's a hardened rice cake. During the holidays, each prisoner receives one rice cake. It's just a small square of rice cake. He had been carrying the rice cake for days, not knowing when he would run into his son. He starved so that his son could get an extra bite. Jung breaks down when he's telling interviewers about this moment later on because he said, I was 14 at the time. I was so hungry. I ate the rice cake. I ate it all as soon as I got it. But afterwards, I just thought, I'm so immature. I mean, thinking about it now, how my father must have felt when he saw me, when he met me from his perspective, what he did to give me that rice cake, seeing me there. I mean, I think I was just too immature. Turns out, after Jung disappeared, Jung's dad spent a year searching for him, going everywhere, going to all the train stations, trying to figure out where the hell is my 12-year-old son. He would never run away like the police are claiming, so something's not right here. Also, the police, they're not telling him that his son has been taken into the brother's home. They're just saying, I don't know, maybe he ran away. Who cares about your son?
I mean, police
are the one that took him in.
Yeah, they're the one that kidnapped.
They don't even tell him. Because they get bonus points from the government, this is just going to cause more trouble. So they don't like it. They don't want to tell him.
Crazy. So they kidnap the kids, and then the parents come in saying, oh, my kid is missing. And they're saying, oh, okay.
We don't know what happened.
Meanwhile, they're the one that took them.
Yes.
Wow.
Jung's dad spends a year searching for him. No help, no hope from the police or neighbors. So he resorts to trying to drown out his sorrows in alcohol. One day, Jung Sr. gets so upset that he's drinking. I mean, sure, he's not the mayor of Busan, but he's thinking my son was a straight-A student. He meant something to the world. He could have been someone. He meant something to me. Isn't that all that matters? But the police, who are they? You know, they're here to serve the people, and they're treating him like dog poop stuck on their shoe. He walks over to the police station, not to start a fight or to be violent, just to protest, a one-man protest. Just help me find my son. Where is my son? You must help me. The police take one look at him. And they smell the alcohol in his breath. And they think, what a vagrant. Take him in.
Wow. He walked into a police station.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jung was in there since he was 12 till he was nearly 15. He says, I strongly resisted the essays at the time that were happening every single night to others. But because of that, I was beaten even more. It's a different humiliation that's different from just being beat. Even now, the shock is too much. I just knew I had to escape that hell. He's out in the courtyard one day, and his eyes are glazed over, just trying not to get burnt by the sun, which is really hard. Okay, so they're saying in the summers, even in the winters, it's really difficult because if you listen to part 1, they're only allowed to wash their face with coarse salt grains. It rips your flesh. It makes it raw in the sun. And then you're getting punched in the face by these guards every day. And now you have no moisturizer, nothing. You're just in the glare of the sun. He's squinting and he looks up and his heart starts pounding. He notices all the guards are busy. And there's been this one building he's always looked at, because if you were to get to the roof of that building, it's tall enough that you could potentially jump onto the ledge of the wall that's blocking them.
Like the 30 feet wall?
Yes. If you climb to the top of that building, the gap between the wall and that building are not that much, and it's about the same height, the roof and the upper ledge of the wall. So he takes the chance. He says, I ran like lightning to the building's roof. He jumps from the roof, knowing that he could very well land on the floor and die, or worse, survive only to be beaten to death, okay? But he jumps, lands on the ledge of the wall, scrapes himself from all the blood. He drops down from the wall on the other side. It's not nearly as high because it's built on a hill. He jumps down and just starts booking it. There's no looking back. He's sprinting through the woods, scraping his face. He can't even keep his eyes fully open because the branches are slamming into him and he doesn't want to slow down. He's just running. The next thing he knows, there's this massive barbed wire fence in front of him. What the hell is this? Some sort of secondary blockade? He doesn't even know how long he's been running. He just starts, without even thinking, climbing up the barbed wired fence, breaking the skin all over his hands, face, body. It's like going through a paper shredder. But he said he didn't even feel pain in the moment. The only thought being, I have to escape this hell no matter what. There is no other way. I have to escape this hell. He drops down on the other side. He made it. This is freedom. He made it past the walls. And then click. It's the sound of a gun right behind him. Put your hands up and don't move. He raises his bloody hands in the air and turns around. It's a uniformed man holding a gun up to him. He's not wearing a blue tracksuit. He's wearing a military outfit. A soldier. Jung had been so desperate, honestly, nobody knows how long he ran for. He doesn't even remember. But he ran for so long, he ran directly into a military base. sneaking into a military base to him still can't be worse than being stuck at brother's home, right? I mean, that's what he thinks. He begs them to save him because all the other people that make it past the walls, if you're wearing the blue tracksuit, you're just brought immediately back in. You're seen almost like an escaped prisoner. And he begs the soldiers to save him, or better yet, don't save me. Don't do anything. Just let me go. I won't tell anyone. The soldiers load him up to a car and he's just begging, please sir, help me. Please sir, help me. The door to the soldier's car opens. They throw him out and then they throw something into his hands. It's a big loaf of bread. He's just standing on the road, on the street. He's not back at brother's home. He's free. With that, the car just drives off.
Wow. So they kind of saved him?
Yeah, they did. They could have sent him back. I don't think that they knew anything of the true torture of what was going on at brother's home, but they had a lot more mercy than the guards at brother's home, clearly. They just thought if this guy doesn't want to go back that much, that he's begging and crying and willing to climb over a barbed wire fence, maybe he doesn't want to go back. It's an even more complicated feeling though, because at first Jung said it feels very surreal. He escaped, he's free. But then he starts panicking. His dad is still there. But he also starts panicking more because he realizes, what is he going to do? Call the cops and tell them that his dad is in brother's home? It's not like he can tell the police. The police are the one that took them in. There is nobody that he can trust. He was only ever taught, ever since he was a little kid, hey, when you're in danger, report it to the police station and ask the police for help. Now what? Jung decides if he's going to get his dad out, he still has to try and survive until then. He finds, ironically, a newspaper distribution center. He starts working there, sleeping there, eating there, and then one day the cops barge in and they take him in. They arrest him.
Why?
One of the neighbors reported a vagrant was living at the distribution center.
What?
They arrested him for being a vagrant. And just like in season 2 of Squid Games, just like Ki-hoon, the main character, when Jung opens his eyes, he's back in a blue tracksuit in a bunk bed at the brother's home.
You are kidding me.
Yeah.
How long was he out?
A few months. But he's a lot more bloodier now from all the beatings from running away. He said in that moment, he realized, I'm never gonna get out of here. I'm never gonna get out of here, at least alive. Another survivor says, as you keep getting beaten up, you know, you just give up. The end of all this waiting, you think you're waiting to escape. The end of all of it is just death. There's nothing to wait for except the day that you die. Nobody's coming to save you.
Wait, so this was, okay, they started this whole initiative for the Olympic, right?
It was prior to the Olympics, but they amped it up and the government started pouring more money into these welfare centers prior to the Olympics. But the initiative started years before.
Years before?
Yes.
So meanwhile, when this happened, like now it's what, like 3 years into this?
Yes.
Has the Olympics started yet or after?
Oh, it's after. I mean, even after, they're still taking people.
Oh, so now it's like they don't need to like put on anything for the tourism. They're still taking people from the streets. Wow, okay.
Han and his older sister, the one who wrote the book, Han, they're dragged to the police station by their dad. Their dad's always been very irresponsible when he's drunk, but it never was like this bad. There were beatings here and there, but this felt very different. He drags them to the police station. Stay here, Dad will be back. In theory, this is the best place for their dad to leave them. In reality, this is the worst place for their dad to leave them. Because remember, the police are the ones taking them in. Han is 9. He says, my dad told us to wait at the police station for him. He promised he would come back and get us. The police don't care.
Why did the dad left him there?
It's unclear if he was trying to abandon his kids because it was too much responsibility, or whether he was in some sort of trouble and he wouldn't be home for a few days and it'd be better to leave his kids at a police station than to leave them alone.
So the father doesn't know.
He has no clue that brother's home is a torturous place or that they're even going to get sent to brother's home. He thinks they're going to be there when he gets back.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. The Korean police stations are a little bit different. So in Korea, there's even things like police boxes. It's like a little box. Police officers are stationed in neighborhoods and they're part of the community. You don't really see them as like a cop.
Yeah, like a security. You can talk to them.
So it's a little more communal. And he thought, okay, they'll be here when I get back if I do decide to come back for them. The police don't care. They throw the two, Han and his sister, into the back of the refrigerated windowless van. They drive them to brother's home.
Wait, so Han has a sister, older or younger?
Older sister. She's 12, he's 9.
Okay.
And in the van, Han says, I started crying. I was asking to be let out and to be able to go home. For a moment, I remember the sky turning completely white. I heard a noise like cicadas were embedded, stuck inside my ears. And then the stars were going around my eyes. And then once that gradually faded, I realized that man just slapped me so hard, I almost lost consciousness. I looked around the van. Only then did I realize there were about 5 other kids our age in the car, besides the strange men. And that's how I ended up at brother's home. Han, just like the others, he has to go through all the survival games, which consist of very creative ways to just torture everyone in blue tracksuits. The guards just torture thousands of people. And like I said, some of them are as young as 4, some of them are elderly people. The torture is non-discriminatory. Everybody's getting tortured. And the torture doesn't even end with the twisted activities. This whole place is almost manufactured to make every aspect of the day feel like walking on glass shards that have been heated to be 100 degrees. There are 2 time slots for food for the day. Designated time slots. There is exactly 30 minutes to eat, which sounds like more than enough time until you realize there's 3,500 people who have 30 minutes to eat. Everyone only has about 3.5 minutes to grab their food, sit down, inhale it before getting up for the next people to sit down. You always hear, first X number of people, go, go, go. People are getting smacked and beaten up if they're not eating fast enough. The first few meal times are said to be the hardest because it's hard to even swallow the food that they're giving you, let alone do it in 3.5 minutes, just shoveling it in. You would spend at least the greater chunk of that time just gagging. The food is almost always the same. It's rotten rice. So the rice, they leave it in these damp containers and they become moldy, and there's those rice bugs everywhere. They don't rinse the rice. They don't get rid of the bugs. They just steam it just like that. Fermented fish, but the fish is always rotten and it's fermented without seasonings. There's fermented cabbage, but there's no red pepper flakes to make the kimchi, so it's just salt sprinkled kimchi, diced radish kimchi. There would be some soup on some days, but it would just be water with nasty oil floating around and then little radishes just floating around. It is not only a nutritionless meal, every single ingredient is moldy, spoiled, and to the point that it was almost decaying. And they just slop it all together in water, cook it into a fermented rotten stew, and serve it with rotten, molded, unwashed rice steamed to food poisoning perfection. Even if you can stand the taste and digestion of the decaying food, there's still not enough food given to you to fill your stomach. Everyone in there is starving at all times of the day. Everybody is malnourished. And that's when you find out things that you never really think you would ever find out. Han says he has a lot of knowledge that most people probably don't have. For example, if you eat too many pine cones or pine needles, you get diarrhea and you're gonna vomit for days. He says, well, you can pick the pine cones, peel off the outer layer with your teeth, and then chew on the white part inside, kind of like an artichoke. You can't really swallow it, but you can at least feel like you're eating something. Or if you have the chance, you can catch and eat centipedes. It will feel like the most nutrient-dense meal at the brother's home. It's hard to say which part of that is worse. Is it the torture games? Is it the food? Or is it that non-stop itch that you feel on every part of your body that makes you want to scrape your skin off, but you can't because the minute that your skin breaks, there's just pus oozing out. Almost every single person in brother's home has a severe skin disease. Most of them have severe eczema and their skin is just raw. It's throbbing. It feels like there's a heartbeat under every part of their skin. Every single day, without fail, regardless, it feels like their skin is about to slop off. They're forced to scrub themselves on this sensitive skin with coarse salt. During the winter, the ice cold water combined with the salt is so unbearable, everyone avoids washing at all. Han writes in his book, many of us had skin diseases because we also shared blankets. And, hygiene was poor. Everybody's skin was always leaking pus and blood. And it's now being rubbed all over everybody else under the blankets in the shared bunks. And at night, when you think, okay, maybe I'm getting used to the itch of this eczema itch and having these dry, open, raw wounds scrape with salt, just when you think you're used to it, at night, there's you hear a lot of smacking sounds in Brother's home at night. They're light smacking sounds because you can't be too loud. A slap helps more than a scratch. Maybe it's in your head because you think the lice are dying from each smack. It's the intense, inescapable itch of pubic lice. Even if you think the itch is bearable, it's the type of crawling sensation down there that makes you feel like there are 1,000 little bugs crawling over you. It feels like they're trying to crawl inside of you. Lice. The only chance of getting rid of the lice is once a week you get a hot water bath for 2 seconds, and it's the only time to try and get rid of all the foreign friends. It also doesn't help that you only have 2 pairs of clothes. The 2 blue tracksuits, which, by the way, they're so crazy about everyone being uniform. A lot of people say it felt like North Korea in there because it doesn't even make sense why the uniformity was so important.
Yeah.
Even if the zipper is broken and can't be zipped up, if the uniform requires it to be zipped up, you have to find a way to get it to stay closed. Otherwise, you will be beaten to death. 600 people died in here, at least. Han says it doesn't matter. If your pants the waistband stretches out, you have to find a way to tie it with no supplies. Because, yeah, your pants falling down, sure, in front of 4,000 people, it's a little embarrassing, but you're gonna get beaten. Everyone's fingernails look like they've been gnawed off by rats. They're always trimmed incredibly short. There are only 5 nail clippers for the whole place. But if you have long nails, you get beat. So everybody just chews off their nails.
Whoa.
But there's no money in the torture itself. Because that's what doesn't make sense. Who is funding the Brothers Home? Why does it exist? Mm-hmm. So if the government funds Brothers Home and every quote unquote vagrant that gets brought in, there's government subsidies. Mm-hmm. The people who run Brothers Home, they get paid per person per day.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not where the real money is. So a few years ago, there was a story that a good chunk of the prison population in China don't have fingernails.
You're talking about today?
Yes.
Oh.
You know, it's like a whole thing. Everyone's like, where are their fingernails going? Are they chewing them off? Are they being ripped off? Like, why don't they have fingernails? Are there certain conditions inside the prisons where their fingernails just fall off? What's going on? They do some investigating. And a lot of the American consumption of pre-peeled garlic is peeled in Chinese prisons. So a lot of these people, they would say, because you have to meet a quota every single month. You have to peel enough garlic slices. And garlic has certain compounds where if you keep peeling them, your fingernails pop off.
Whoa, okay.
And it's not just China, but incarcerated workers produce over $2 billion worth of goods annually. Even in the US, about 2/3 of the prison population work. And a lot of them, for some weird reason, are in the food industry. The prison complex and the agricultural business are like hand in hand.
So they're working, you're saying?
Yes, and they're getting paid like 20 cents a day.
Are you talking about Brothers Home? Or
yes, everywhere. So in US prisons they're working, in prisons across the world they're working, and then in Brothers Home is this crazy trickle of money. The facility gets paid by the government just for housing the vagrants. Mm-hmm. But Brothers Home is like, why don't we make more money? Because what are they doing all day, these people that we have laying around? Mm-hmm. Let's have them work. Toys. Children's toys, stationery, baby shoes, toothpicks. That's what they're making. Never-ending cycle. One survivor says, if the overall production target wasn't met, they would stop all the work. They would send the workers out into the field and they would beat us one by one mercilessly with these giant pliers and hammers on the inner thighs. Your inner thighs would be all bruised, and my only thought at work was, I must not get hit. The worst part was a lot of the kids worked in fishing hook factories. They have to make fishing hooks.
So these factories, is that what those 60 buildings are? Just different factories?
Different factories and different warehouses to house these people. They have a church on the premises. They have a medical unit, which just consists of, they rip you open and pour salt into your wound and rub it around.
Oh my God.
They have a psych ward. The government wants to get paid for these people, but you can't beat them into submission. A lot of them have really lost their minds in there.
진짜 정신병자는 정신병자가 돼 있더라고.
So they just throw them into the psych ward where they drug them nonstop and they just get essayed and abused.
Do you know if this facility is still around today or they've
No, it has been replaced by apartment buildings. Yes, because back then Busan was not as it wasn't that big of a city. I mean, it was, but it wasn't what it is now.
Wow.
Yeah. So the worst for the children, though, is this one factory where you make fishing hooks. They say when you work that quickly making fishing hooks, the hook gets stuck under your fingernails. And the purpose of a fishing hook is not release whatever it's latched onto. So when you work quickly, the hooks get stuck, and when you pull it out, your nail gets pulled out as well. You have to tear the flesh to get them out. They say you rip off your own fingernails to get the hooks out because you can't work and produce when you have fishing hooks stuck on each of your nails. There's not even time to think about what you're doing. It's just constant thoughts of, if I don't do this, the beating is going to be worse than this. They keep working faster and faster. One survivor says, the day starts at 5. We make our beds. We have to do that in 5 seconds, very quickly, like the military. If not, you're going to get beaten by the guard the first thing in the morning. Then they do roll call. Then you go outside. Then you do the washroom with just salt. 3 seconds of water, salt for face wash, salt as toothpaste. Then you have to sing the military anthem. And one of the survivors says, I don't understand the point in that. If we were not in sync, we were beat. It just didn't make any sense what the point was. It's not even a real military. Then they would be sent off to the factories. A survivor states they forced people to work in factories to produce products, and then those products would be sold to the public. The facility pocketed money from the products as well as benefiting from the free labor, as well as getting paid government subsidies. Another survivor states, after all of that, 14 and 15-year-olds were forced to carry sacks that weighed 60 pounds back and forth for construction to happen. All those buildings
they're building it too, huh?
were built by them.
Whoa.
It was a nightmare.
This is crazy.
The children were unable to keep up, they would get beat. So the kids avoid getting beat. They're forced to work harder. The survival instinct would kick in, and it was astonishingly painful. They were forced to build the wall, even that held them prisoner, the giant 30-foot wall that made it nearly impossible to escape. They were forced to build it. They say to build this wall, you have to carry up stones. One of the adults in front of me became exhausted and sat down for a moment to rest. The guard on site smashed the man's head with a wooden bat, and he died on the spot. Yeah, that was the first death that this survivor witnessed. It wouldn't be the last. But because it was the first, he said he was so consumed with fear he couldn't eat or sleep for the next few days. And in Squid Games, there's this subplot. I'm sure you guys have all watched season 1, and even if you haven't watched season 2, the subplot is continuing. We don't really know how it's going to resolve yet, so I don't know if this is a spoiler, but there is a subplot of the guards, the pink uniform wearing guards in Squid Games. They will take the bodies that they've shot down, the losers of the game, if you will, and they're supposed to shoot them dead. But instead of killing them, they immobilize them. Then they take them into this little bunker where a doctor shows up to try and sell the organs, take out the organs. It's very fascinating, the levels of profit. So the VIP clients, they get their entertainment out of these people dying, out of watching them kill each other for survival and for money. That's their entertainment. To the guards that are one step above the contestants, they take advantage of the contestants by, in death, selling their organs and profiting. The same goes for Brothers Home.
Right, that's my question. Why are they so evil? Like,
yes.
you don't... Yeah, okay.
The facility will continue to profit even if the victims die. One survivor whose sole job was to clean up messes, particularly the messes of people who were escaped, recaptured, and beaten. He says, my job was to clean up after them. But how? How do I clean it up? Wiping away the bloodstains, cleaning up the aftermath? I mean, I saw people all laying there on the floor with their eyes wide open. They were dead. The total number of people that died is said to be around 551, but it's likely that the numbers are far higher than that. One survivor says, there are so many graves there. If you look behind the church where the weeds grow thick, some days you would see mounds being made, just so many. There's like a bathhouse there. Right in front of it is this incinerator. A lot of bones would come out of that incinerator. I remember a man named Kim. He was quite old at the time. This is a direct quote. He was carried into a secret guidance room. That's what they called it. That's where they would beat us into guidance, to listening to the guards better, not trying to escape. He was forced into that room and carried out. I watched. He was dead. He died from beating, but I was told everyone would just report it as some sort of natural illness as his cause of death, and that sometimes, if the beating scars aren't that bad, they would sell them for medical studies. They would body farm. They would sell the bodies.
Just like squeaking.
Yes. One survivor states, if the bodies weren't needed, the guards would carry it up to the church at dawn and to the mass graves. One victim states, people were starved, beaten, and killed, and their deaths were never reported. They just buried them or sold them. All the kids are freezing. That's like a huge thing. All the survivors mention over and over again, you don't understand the winters in this place. You don't understand how cold it gets when there's snow falling everywhere and you're shivering to the bone. Your lips are constantly bleeding because you're so dry. It is miserable. Some people had frostbitten toes that had to be amputated. And then what do they do after they amputate it? They just rub salt on it. They said it's that bad. Underneath the facility, there's this little warehouse, storage room, and it's filled to the brim with clothes.
Like uniforms? Or
better clothes.
They're making?
No.
Oh.
Okay, so remember how I said this is not a cult story? So why do they have this giant church? Is it just because one of the leaders, like one of the facility owners, is religious? No, because religion is used to reel in donations for Brothers Home. From the outside, Brothers Home is a very legitimate welfare center. Wow. They're actually the biggest welfare center that is funded by the government. And now they're going to ask for donations from people around the world. The director of Brothers Home was smart. He did not care for Jesus, not even one bit. He's not a religious man. But survivors said they used religion to add more money to their business. If there's no religion involved in their center, who would donate money? It's a government-funded facility. But you tell people, I'm Christian. I'm a Christian doing good things. I need donation money. Donation money from foreigners would flood in. They would donate just cases of clothes. And the kids were forced to write thank you notes to all the donors because you need it in childish handwriting.
This is crazy.
Sometimes they would have American donors stop by that work with like adoption agencies in America or even big churches in America. They would fly to Korea to visit Brothers Home. And everyone would prepare for months. The kids would put on plays. They would dance around. They'd be forced to do all these things. And then once they leave, they have to give everything back. The basement would be filled with those donated clothes and they would sell them. Another layer of profit, sold to local clothing stores. This one odd time, a bunch of donors donated a bunch of cattle to be used for consumption. And Han said they took the cow and paraded it around the field, taking pictures with all of us, smiling with the cow, and showed it off. And everybody was so happy, thinking we would get beef bone soup or something the next day. And the next day, it was just rotten oil broth. No beef. They took the cows to the market to be sold. But the worst part for 9-year-old Han is not even the fact that he's not drinking beef bone soup. It's the fact that he was taken with his 12-year-old sister, and his older sister keeps trying to escape with him. Every single time she stands in the field, she would sprint towards him, ready to escape with him, but she has no plan. She has no plan. She would just try to grab his hand and say, I'm going to protect you. Let's go. We're going to go home. And every time she would get slammed down onto the ground and beaten in front of Han. He says the beatings, torture, and punishments, it wouldn't stop her from getting to me. Han says about his sister, my older sister was especially smart. So our researchers actually met Han and his older sister. They left like a video message for us as well, but he says his older sister is especially smart and capable, which our researchers actually noted, and we'll talk about that in part 3. She's like the only blood relative that taught Han anything, because they're poor village kids. He doesn't know how to write. She would teach him. And then on their way home one day, this is when they were free, he saw this 달고나 cart. It's just all full circle. Okay, he sees this 달고나 cart, the candy cart. And he's like, sister, can I get a 달고나? And she doesn't have money. So she says, you know what? I'm going to go home and I'm going to make it for you. He says, my sister put a ladle on the briquette stove. It was her first time doing this. She poured in sugar, added a little bit of soda, and she was about to complete the 달고나 with the chopsticks when I kept pushing on her and like dragging her shirt saying, can you hurry? I really want 달고나. And she dropped the ladle It fell all over her foot. She has a severe burn because the sugar crystallizes and it sticks to you all over her foot. He says, I still remember that incident. And when their dad, who both of them thought was very scary, he would come home and ask, Shine, what happened to your foot? And she would quickly respond, I dropped a pot while I was making soup. Don't worry about it. Han says his sister was always somebody that protected him. And even now, she keeps trying to protect him by having them escape. But all that's happening is she keeps getting beat over and over again. She would run to him in the cafeteria trying to hug him. Father's gonna come find us, okay? Don't be scared. Father's gonna come find us. He says, you can't imagine how difficult it was to look at each other in that atmosphere of fear. Rather than being a source of support or comfort for each other, it just became more painful. I lived witnessing my sister gradually losing her mind. Okay, so in the book, it's very explicit, but I think he would rather it not be explicit. So Han mentions that people from his sister's platoon would come to him and report back the types of torture that were inflicted on her because she tried to save her brother. And the types of torture, you can imagine what they are, especially being a woman in a facility like this. In some sick, twisted way, some of the kids would even taunt him about it. He said, I lived witnessing my sister gradually losing her mind. First, it was just this panic of, we gotta get out of here, I'm gonna help us escape. And then slowly, she would start talking to the walls. She would do anything, it doesn't matter. She wouldn't feel her own pain of being beat. When Han got beat on the field, she would run and cover his body with her own. And it would just result in both of them getting beat. And her torture was, both of them were essayed during their time there, but it was just really bad. He says, I lived witnessing my sister gradually losing her mind. If she had been completely out of my sight, I might have forgotten her existence entirely. But because she was next to me for 3 years and 6 months, I witnessed everything and I can't forget it. Every time his sister would be in the field, the guards would laugh. The weirdo's coming again, she's starting again. And without fail, when Han would look, it would be his sister running towards him, trying to help him escape. And the guards that were laughing, 2 seconds ago, suddenly they yank her down by the hair as she rushes towards him, throws her onto the ground, and drags her away forcibly to torture her. Eventually, she was taken to the psych ward where Han would climb the window just to see her. There was a few platoon leaders that he liked, like the guards, where they were tall and they would let him climb on top of their shoulders to see in through the window just to see his sister. And he thought maybe if she sees my face, she'll get better and she won't lose her mind and she'll realize, okay, I gotta get out of here strong. But when he looks into the room, she doesn't even recognize him because she is not there. They have her on antipsychotics that she does not need, on high doses every single day. She's in a daze. She just has a glaze. It's like they're zombies. That's how they describe them. He says, every time I went to check on my sister to see if she was ever getting better, she was always laying down with her hands tied. There was nothing I could do for my sister. All I could do every day was pray that my father would come and save us. He says his biggest regret was before she was taken to the psych ward, one of the leaders was beating his sister, the guard, and they told Han, I'm not gonna stop until you repeat after me. Don't come find me, you stupid. And they would make Han repeat it over and over again because he wasn't saying it with conviction, obviously. And he's just crying as he's screaming at his sister, and she's on the ground and she still tries to come save him the next day. Then one day, Han hears a voice that he recognizes behind him. Have you been well? And he freezes. He can't even turn around. How's your sister doing? It's his dad.
He's in a tracksuit too?
Just like Jung's dad, Han's dad is in a suit, a tracksuit. Han writes in his book, I tasted despair. I hated my father to death because he dropped them off at the police station. And he was never particularly the best father even prior. He said the thought that I could never escape this place now tormented me. And now this man is wondering, how's your sister doing? Han scoffs. She's gone. She's no longer there. Seeing his dad, Han said he just had this overwhelming feeling. And these were the words that kept repeating in his mind while he was in the welfare center, which is, with a knife, with a knife. He didn't know what it meant. It was just always, with a knife. I'm gonna do it with a knife, with a knife. the next time Han would ever see his dad outside of brother's home, he would have a knife in his pocket, ready to kill him. That is part 2 of Squid Games, the real story behind Squid Games. Part 3, we will tell you what happened to Han and Han's sister, Han's dad, as well as all the other victims who were outside of the National Assembly, and also the family who does not get punished and are in Australia living as millionaires. So stay tuned for part 3. Leave your thoughts in the comments and stay safe. I'll see you in the next one.